It's going. I'm going too. We're all going.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Collector's Quest. I'm Tyler here with Johnny. Johnny, what's going on?
Tyler, there is a problem in the world today, and I need you to know about it.
Is it AI?
Do you know what Lorcana is?
Disney Lorcana, the premier Disney collectible trading card game. I do know.
I know when people, I know people love when we talk about trading card games, but something happened. This game was in the dumps, right? All the prices were incredibly suppressed. The game was down. It was out. It was ready to die. And then all of a sudden, something about 7 months ago started happening. Prices on these like super rare items called iconics, the rarest rarity in the game, started to trickle up. This was something that was introduced in set 9. For instance, we're now on set 12. There's like a release every 3 to 4 months. So now each of these sets from set 9 to set 12 going forward have had these iconics. And then there's also these things called Enchanted, which are also super fancy versions that you get maybe one in an iconic. I think you get maybe 1 in 1,000 packs or something, maybe more than that. Iconics are like 1 in maybe 100 packs or so, or Enchanteds are 1 in 100 packs. Those things started to trickle up. Enchanteds were like $80. They started to go up to $200, $300. These iconics, which were like $1,000 to $500 to $1,000, started to go up to like $3,000 to $5,000. Now we have graded Mickeys from set 9, which is called Fabled. Mickey and Minnie iconics going for tens of thousands of dollars now. We've got a Buzz Lightyear from the newest set, an iconic, going for $5,000 raw. Tyler, this game was nowhere, and now somehow investors and Disney collectors collectively decided, nah, we're not going to let it die, and we're going to pump this shit to the moon. It's wild to see. I don't know what's going on. Like everything, all these enchanted cards I was talking about, everything was on a race towards the bottom. And now, cards I bought for $80 because my wife just likes the way they look. I was like, oh, I'll buy this one. It's $80. It looks nice. And that is now an $800 card, Tyler. And there's multiple of these things that this has happened with in the last couple of months. I don't understand. This is a problem.
Are trading cards not just the new Beanie Babies? Is it maybe we were being too kind to Funko Pops, putting them on the level of Beanie Babies? But during the Beanie Baby boom, people were not like dumb and thinking and like, well, I'm gonna put $1,000 into a Beanie Baby. That's dumb. No, they truly believed that because a Beanie Baby was retired, it could only go up in value.
But these things aren't retired. They're still printing them, Tyler.
I don't understand trading cards. There's all these YouTube channels and they're just like investor.
This is not the same thing as the Pokemon people either. So it's not like, oh, all the Pokemon people got. It's a different subset of people. So boxes of this one set were $150 of Fabled. Now they are $1,000 a box for 24 packs. $1,000, Tyler.
There has to be some kind of psychology on how like the American middle class is feeling hopeless and they need to escape their troubles and they don't have money for buying a house or children or retirement or something, and so the money they do have they siphon into fleeting pleasures such as trading cards. Like something is fundamentally broken with human society for this to happen.
That's exactly what I'm getting at. When I said something in the world is broken, Tyler, this is what I mean. Is this the leading recession indicator? Like, what the F is going on? I'm looking at these Lorcana cards that I didn't pay that much on, and some we opened, and I'm just like, okay, well, I opened this one, and it's $3,000 now. Why? I don't know. I'm just like, could I just sell all of these and then go buy my wife a new car? That's where I'm at though. And people will be like, that's crazy because these are all going to go up. I can't believe you put it in a depreciating asset. Like, guys, I'm like under $600 in on all of this. If I can turn $600 into $20,000, that seems all right.
Just because you can buy something and hold on to it does not mean it's going to be an investment. Like, the fact that like most good investments should be like boring and not exciting. If you are only buying exciting things that you personally love owning, then maybe your investment strategy is Perhaps more geared towards making you feel good than being a sound investment. Not that all collectibles are like fundamentally terrible, but like a good investment is also historically like Berkshire Hathaway or Lockheed Martin, not the most exciting thing to put on your shelf. But Johnny, we're living in a new world of AI. It's going to automate all the jobs. All that's going to be left for people when all the jobs are automated is to take part in hedonistic pleasures like trading card games, and they will spend all their time and money on 2020s era Disney Lorcana trading cards. That's probably it.
I think so. But also, this leads us into our like main thing to like lead in the show is Mario. We have a $3 million Mario, Tyler. And is this crazy? I'm going to let you get into that because is this? It's not a first print Mario. We're $3 million. Did we do it? Is video games, have we arrived? Are we saved?
I think people were popping the champagnes in like the Greg chat. I joined the live stream for when this was selling. A lot of people seem to think like this wasn't going to pop off for some reason. I mean, I guess, there's always a chance that the rich people don't show up. My prediction was just over $2 million. Your prediction was like $1.2 million, I think. And $3 million was higher than most people thought it would go, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it's the new most expensive video game ever sold. To be clear, this was a 9.6 A plus or A plus, probably A plus plus sticker sealed Super Mario Brothers. It's a gloss sticker seal, a quote unquote second print, and it was found in a control deck, which is a console that comes with Super Mario Brothers, but that console wasn't supposed to include a sticker sealed Mario. So the one theory I heard from Josh Byerly is that like someone might have got this for Christmas along with a sticker sealed copy of Super Mario Brothers, and they just put the sticker sealed copy back into the console box instead of returning it, and that's what preserved it for all these years. And to be clear, this is not the $100,000 one that sold in 2018. That one's at 9.4, no. So this is better than the one that sold in 2018 for $100,000.
Do we think grading is softer now? Do we think that 9.4 will be a 9.6 today? Or do we think the grading has gotten stricter?
I think if you cross that over to a CGC, it would be a 9.6. I honestly don't know. I have some stuff graded from 2018, like some DVD games that got like 9.2 and 9.4 that I'm like 100% sure would be a 9.8 now. They were like crazy on some of that stuff, considering how soft I think grading is in general for video games. I had a case fresh quote unquote Steel Battalion. It came directly out of the big box. I opened it new myself. And I just sent the game in because I literally opened the box just to have another controller to play the game with back in the day for multiplayer. 100% case fresh. It's mint, and they gave me like a 9.4 on it. They're going to give me a fucking 9.8 now. They're so soft on this shit. But the problem is you regrade that. Everybody knows it used to be a 9.4. So I guess that still is worth doing if you could bump it up to a 9.6. But because, even though people would be like, oh, it used to be a 9.4. Oh, I'm a stickler collector who knows the history of the item. It's still better to have the bigger number.
Not if you crack it yourself and don't tell anybody.
But then the problem is, well, first of all, everyone's going to know you did that. Like the company you're submitting it to is going to be like, oh, it's a submission from the guy who owns this $1 million video game. I think maybe it's suspicious. We should take a closer look, see if it's the same one. But
no.
I mean, the problem is then you have another one on the pop report, and you don't want it to seem like there are more copies coming to market.
Well, I mean, I think that is that happens in cards all the time. And I think it's not as big of a problem over there because there's such a big.
Yeah, it happens in cards all the time where the pops for like $5,000 cards are like, yeah, there's 1,000 of these $5,000 cards. In video games, it's like, oh, a $5,000 video game? Yeah, there's 6 of them.
Yeah. So it will start to happen though. Ideally it wouldn't happen anywhere. Tyler, $3 million.
New record. And so the old record, I believe the old record of like known private sale was the $2 million hang tab Super Mario Brothers. That was like a private sale that we knew about. The guy did like some YouTube videos on it and stuff. There was also a 9.8 A plus hang tab Mario in this auction that sold for $575,000. Womp womp, just a cool $1.5 million price cut on that one.
Small haircut, no big deal.
But the highest public sale for a video game before this was the $1.56 million Super Mario 64. So it is a little bit nice that the highest public sale of a video game is no longer Super Mario 64, despite that being my favorite game of all time. It's kind of a dumb pick for the most expensive video game ever.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, that sale took place in 2021, the most irrational time in the market, and maybe the entire world for everything.
I mean, maybe. The world has not gotten more rational since then. It's just shifted its financial priorities.
So an interesting thing about this sale is it was purchased by AJ Scaramucci, son of investment banker Anthony Scaramucci, who was Donald Trump's first term media figurehead, like the guy is who says who spins bullshit. And he was only in the job for 2 weeks, but he was also on the Amazon cryptocurrency version of Shark Tank.
Great.
Really weird. Small world. I think online he goes on like social media and stuff. He goes by Treasure Trove. And his goal is he's going for like all the grail collectors in every category. So he doesn't care about video games. He just wanted the best thing. He is not going to go and buy your fucking sticker sealed copy of Golf. He's not going to go buy your VGA 100 Rule of Rose or whatever stupid bullshit you have. He just wanted this because it was the quote unquote best thing. And now he's fucking off and he's going to go buy the Declaration of Independence or, the best Lionel Trains or something. He's not interested in the category. Like, I forget everybody's name. The Reddit guy who was going and buying like some ridiculous stuff, like $100,000 for a copy of Twisted Metal, because he's a multimillionaire and he wants to have some of the best stuff. He is interested in video games. He is buying good stuff. I'm pretty sure he bid on this copy of Mario. And he was like, oh, it probably went to like some investor cabal or something because he lost it. But like he will be continuing to bid on the high end of video games. So he is like a sort of force in this very small market of super high end video games. But I don't think that AJ Scaramucci is here for the long term. So does this $3 million sale, it will boost the market. It will boost confidence in people spending ridiculous money on video games. But like, should it? Because he kind of just was one and done, I think.
I don't think it should. I think if people are fooled by this, that is going to be a problem. Because this, like you said, this doesn't really represent a video game collector. This is just a guy coming in, buying all the best stuff. He's got the Illustrator Pokemon. He's got this. This is,
to be clear, he spent $16 million on a Pikachu Illustrator, which I will stand by my opinion is not the best Pokemon card. It's just hyped by fucking Logan Paul. There's like 40 of them. Like, what the fuck?
So we're now in this world where this has happened. This guy is here. We have long said that it would only take one actual rich person to ever come into this hobby and really show everybody how poor we all are. And there's a guy who did it. He's just like, yeah, I can spend $3 million on this to him. Because $3 million doesn't mean that much to him. Because he clearly has a lot of bankroll, right? Like if you're spending, not that $3 million, he probably still winces at $3 million, but he spent $16 million on a Pokemon. Clearly there's a lot of money to go around there. If you ever have anybody who's got that kind of money, they can literally just buy all the grails, peace out, and never come back. And that's not really an effect on the market. That's just one guy shooting all of his shots, taking all the best stuff, and then moving on.
Somewhat interestingly, there was a Legend of Zelda first print, 9.6 A+. So a mint copy first print of NES Legend of Zelda. And yes, Legend of Zelda first print is not the rarest thing in the world. There are a few of them out there. But it's also the fucking Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
And it sold for $375,000, which, all right, objectively, that's a ridiculous price. In context, that's about what you would expect it to go for. They've sold in this $300,000 range before. And it was like a couple lots before this $3 million Mario. And I can't help but think, like, if this had been the lot directly after Mario sells for $3 million, does it get a $100,000 bump because whoever's buying is like, oh, I guess video games are hotter shit than anybody ever realized?
I mean, probably. This is still a crazy time. Regardless of how I feel about if this actually moves the market, what it does is it takes a game and removes it from circulation kind of forever.
I mean, this game
Right?
this game came into circulation this year. I think it was found this year. So it had no impact on anything.
The idea of it will always persist now. So, and we now know it exists. So now it's gone from the market. Now we know one of these best things is forever gone. Anything that comes out that is not better than it is just a worse copy. So I don't know. This is a thing that we have a problem, and we're going to talk about this more later, but the price memory of things and what people write down on lists of 30 years ago is strong. It doesn't matter if it's correct. People remember prices. People remember things that were said incorrectly a year ago on a forum, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago on a forum. Someone said, these are the 3 rarest things. And people still cite that. And collectively, AI now is going out and grabbing those answers and then feeding them back to people. We might be in the worst timeline for price memory and bad information. So yeah, I think we might be in the worst timeline for bad video game information and price memory just creeping up, because as AI trolls everything and finds those, people have already been doing it. They regurgitate bad info all the time. And now we have the assistance of AI bringing up that information that people have been regurgitating. I'm worried about what people perceive and what prices are going to look like.
I mean, perception is reality in some sense. If people say Earthbound is the rarest Super Nintendo game, I mean, obviously that's wrong. But if people are willing to spend $4,000 on that because of perception, then that's what the collectibles market is.
It's like Rule of Rose. People always are going to say, but then no one's really done the full research on the PS2 library. There's like the big PS2 collectors that are not going to go, Rule of Rose is definitely not the rarest PS2 game, but that will be cited on every list from here to the end of time.
That's why we got those. We need pop reports for everything. So everyone needs to grade all their games, cartridges complete in box and sealed, and then we'll have the objective pop reports where we can just all tell Johnny. And then
everybody,
when the pop reports show that the rare games are not nearly as rare compared to how big the hobby of game collecting is, then that's when you start arguing that, well, population doesn't matter, it's all demand, and that's why my Charizard is worth $100,000 even though there's 1,000 of them.
Well, and population doesn't, or rarity doesn't matter because, we already proved it doesn't. $3 million Mario. It
Johnny,
is
it's rare. It's the second print.
I know, but there's lots of Super Marios. We're talking about conditional rarity and variance.
We are.
So, I don't know. Interesting time. Interesting to see what will happen. I don't really know. Every time we've tried to make a prediction on this, something insane happens. So, let's just ride this one out and see what happens in 2 years.
I'm waiting for the matte sticker sealed copy to come up, Johnny. Come on. Let's get a real copy.
Okay,
Another second.
well, let me ask you. Today, a matte sticker seal comes up. Does it go for more than this, or has this guy moved on?
No, I think Treasure Trove and whoever bid against him, Alexis Reddit. I think you have to bid more to get the better thing, because you kind of screwed up with this one. $3 million. Oh well, it's rounding error for you. Now go get the matte one. Get the real correct grail. Because his goal is to own like the most unobtainable thing from every hobby. So he can't have someone owning the matte sticker copy of Mario if he's only got a stupid gloss sticker one.
So you think it would go for more right now? You think he'd be back
right now? This sold like a week ago. Yeah, I think it would go for more.
I know, but maybe he's capped out. I don't know.
Maybe
what his money's
like. Dude spends $16 million on a trading card. I think he can figure out a way to make it work. He's trying to buy a copy of the Declaration of Independence right now. I think he can make it work. This is like a side project for him. Video games are like the cheap side project.
Is that real? He's really trying to buy a Declaration of Independence?
Yes. I mean, I think there's a couple hundred Declaration of Independences that were made, but yeah, he's trying to buy it. That's one of his next things he's going for.
Okay.
He's clearly above us as collectors, Johnny. I don't mean to say the video game collectors are lesser than, but we're over here, we're buying our I Am 8-bit copy of Undertale, and this guy might be buying a copy of the Declaration of Independence. Little bit of a different thing. Also, reserved investments would love that because that is considered a historical document, which is a real antique investing category, not stupid speculative pop culture bullshit.
Thank God I listened to reserved investments.
I don't think you do, Johnny.
I don't.
All right.
Not at all. Yeah.
So, since this is the new grail of video games, we are here in this episode. We're going to rate all the grails. What are gamers correct about? What are we incorrect about? Based on loose prices and perception, like the most expensive things in each set, or just what people act like is the grail. And yes, we give a lot of shit to Rule of Rose. Only because people give a lot of clout to Rule of Rose. But we're going over everything. I think you made a huge list of everything, going back to Atari and freaking Intellivision, 3DO, all the way up to maybe PS4, PS5 even.
PS5. Yeah, and I'm not confident in all these. This is kind of a fast list. I'm playing it fast and loose. So here's how I made my list. I put like what I think people perceive as the grail, and then I put like what the rarest thing is. And that's a big thing to understand. This is not my personal grails. We might talk about what some of my personal grails are, but that's not how I made the list. We're talking about grails, but that's public perception in general. There are a lot of people who will have something and they will say, this is my grail. Personal grails can be whatever you want. People get mad about the term grail. It is one of the most controversial terms in collecting. The Holy Grail used to mean the thing. Whatever it was, there was only one. It was the thing. You couldn't fight it. It was the NWC Gold. That was the Holy Grail. Now, in video games, everyone's got personal grails, and now grail is more of a, there's a public conscience grail. Like, I think the collected thing that people are after when they collect for the Atari would be this thing, or it's acknowledged among those collectors, not just the general populace. They have to be kind of a focused collector of those items that they believe their collective conscience is like, this is the grail. But then there's the rarest item over here. So I've got that, what I think is one of the rarest items for that console. And then I've got some oddities, and then maybe some stuff from other regions. So outside North America, though my information on that is so much worse. So, I'm sure anyone listening from overseas or Japan is going to be like, nope, those are all incorrect. So we'll see how that goes. That's how my list goes. Tyler's got his own, and we're going to just talk about it. Are these grails good? Are they bad? Should you be interested?
Johnny, I just need you to know I don't have a list, but we are going to be talking about Korean 3DO games.
Thank God. Thank God.
Also, man, I don't want to get into a whole offshoot on terminology here. I hate the term personal grail. I feel like the term Holy Grail is like, the whole point of the term is that it's like this universal thing that everybody would be searching for, because it does whatever the Holy Grail does. I don't freaking know mythology, but
okay.
I feel like white whale would be a more appropriate term for something that only you care about, because only Captain Ahab cares about the white whale. It's not the Holy freaking Grail.
I don't disagree with you, but that's not how the language around this has developed. But I would be happy to help you challenge the idea of personal grails and talk about white whales instead, because I think that is better.
That's the new episode. Personal grail versus white whale, a 3-hour discussion.
All right, here we go. I can't wait to talk to you about my white whales for the 3DO.
I can't find Carrier Fortress at sea anywhere.
Not even a little. Let me tell you about Illbleed.
All right, Johnny, let's start. Should we start with the NES because we're already talking about Super Mario Brothers? Or
no, release order Atari 2600.
You're starting with Atari 2600?
Yeah.
You didn't go back to Magnavox Odyssey?
I mean, I could. Do you want to know my Odyssey Grail?
Oh, what's your Odyssey Grail?
Hold on. Let me get to the list. That was an old version of the list, Tyler. Magnavox Odyssey. I think just owning an original Magnavox Odyssey in box with all the associated components is the grail for that.
Whoa, not Interplanetary Voyage?
No,
All right.
because I think no one knows about that. I think they do know that the haunted house is in that original Magnavox Odyssey, and they want all the pieces.
And if you look in the battery compartment of a Magnavox Odyssey, or it might be on the back, I forget if it's in the battery compartment or not, it says either run 1 or run 2, because there were 2 production runs. You got to make sure you got to run 1.
That's right. That's the grail.
All right, let's talk about
you
real
said
grails.
also. Mike, but what you said also, because I don't know enough about the Magnavox Odyssey to really hold any water in that conversation. Tell me, Atari 2600, what's the grail? I got, so do you think Air Raid or Gamma Attack is more well known?
I think Air Raid's more well known because there have been a couple articles published over the past 15 years where like people have found them at Goodwill and stuff. And like the first boxed copy ever has come to market. Like, what was it? It was in like the late 2000s, a boxed copy came up and then a complete in box copy came up, and like both of those were news stories. So I do think Air Raid does have more name recognition than Gamma Attack.
Okay, so then that's going to get it for my grail, and then we'll talk rarity as Gamma Attack.
Okay.
I mean, a Red Sea Crossing is also in there, like a cool Birthday Mania, like all of those are one of ones. I think on the Atari 2600, because it is so weird. It's such a weird system, and the fact that there's so many, since it was the Wild West, there's no real consensus. It's not clean. If someone said, no, this is the real grail, and I'm not a deep Atari 2600 guy, I don't feel like I can fight them.
Johnny, should people care about either of these? They're both just kind of like, so no one, Atari 2600 is a little bit unique in that no one really collects the set. There are people who collect as much Atari 2600 as they can, but you can't really own a Gamma Attack because there's 2 of them. You can kind of own an Air Raid, but like it's extremely rare and expensive, very exclusive club, like probably more exclusive than Nintendo World Championships.
So if we're talking for like a demand grail then, or like, are we talking like adventure? Is that the game when people buy an Atari they're after?
No, stop it. No, that's stupid.
I'm just asking.
I think all the Atari grails are good grails. Like even the stuff like Birthday Mania and Red Sea Crossing. Red Sea Crossing is a little unique because now it's developer found new copies and he's starting to sell them at auction. He already sold 1 on eBay, and his next one he's selling on Heritage Auctions. I forgot. We said how many he had, but he had like a dozen, I think, extra copies of Red Sea Crossing. But I think the Atari stuff is so cool because there are a number of mail order only games. All these games we're talking about were mail order only. I'm not sure about Air Raid, but it's so rare it must have been mail order only, right?
Is he in the U.S., the guy who made Red Sea Crossing?
He might be Canadian. I don't remember.
Oh, so it's a non-U.S. grail.
Stop it. Stop it. And like this doesn't happen. Like even the rarest of the rare NES games usually aren't mail order exclusives. Like was Action 52 a mail order game? Even if it was, it had a much wider distribution than the rare Atari games. So I think the whole console is kind of unique, and I like all of these grails. I am giving the thumbs up, even if I think they're probably overpriced in relation to how much they matter in a cultural sense. Like, what would an Air Raid go for? Like, well into the tens of thousands of dollars, I think. Would I spend that? No, I don't think that is worth it in terms of everything you could buy, even in just video games, but I like all the Atari grails.
We're also going to move into a world, and we already are, where even games, like in-demand games, are going to become some of the rarest items because of condition. Conditional rarity is going to start to be a thing that more and more people talk about. Only one exists sealed. This is the grail. So grail categories on some of this stuff might shift. Just as a point of fact, I just want people to know we've considered that. We're not like worried about conditional rarity yet. I don't think there's enough conditional rarity out there and, state of item CIB versus sealed to generate like a true grail list yet.
Hey Johnny, let me bring up a recent sale for you. In the same auction as the $3 million Mario, there was a small game called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, a PSA 10 graded copy that sold for $20,000. Easily more money than 99.999% of video games ever sold. Are you suggesting that a sealed mint copy of Breath of the Wild isn't seen as like an absolute grail of video games?
I am telling you that is correct.
That's crazy.
But
Johnny,
given
it's
that
a
price,
10. Think of the condition of that shrink wrap.
But given the price of that auction and what other people think, one day, if there's a very low pop on 10s and first prints, that could be the grail. But not yet.
I think people are saying it already is, but...
I think people are, but I don't think that's a consensus yet.
Johnny, what else we got? Move on. I think Atari's cool. You think Atari's cool? You're in on it?
It's fine. You know me. If I had to pick one game of all the ones we talked about from Atari, I'm picking Birthday Mania. I've said that before. I like Birthday Mania.
So all Atari has going for it is rarity, and in terms of cultural relevance, I think it's crazy that this is the case, but even video game collectors dismiss Atari. So certainly in terms of investment, I would never spend big money on an Atari game unless I'm an old guy who needs that for my collection and doesn't care about the price in the future. Because, man, anyone in their 30s and 40s or younger is just like, Atari 2600, those like barely count as video games. And none of these people are playing any other fucking video games, but for some reason, Atari is just a bridge too far.
Yeah. Hey, Tyler, you know who would care about some of this stuff and older stuff?
VG Collectaholic.
Well, him, but also retrogames.co.uk. He would care. Jace was talking about selling that site, which is crazy. I just wanted to bring it up that he's got that thing for sale if someone is really interested. And I just want you to buy it, Tyler.
So Jace is an older guy. He seems like he should be ready to retire. It totally makes sense that he's selling his business. Like he's been in business since the 90s selling old computer games, which is crazy.
He kind of coined retro games, weirdly.
He's a cool guy. I think his last video is fascinating because he goes through the stock of his store. His last video is like, hey, if you want to buy retrogames.co.uk, reach out to me. He goes through the stock of his store, which is just like shelves like you or I would have, not labeled. Like there's probably an inventory system, but it's mostly in his head. So when you order games from retrogames.co.uk, it is probably just Jace goes to his shelves. He knows where those 50-cent games that I ordered are stored, and he just picks them off the shelf for me. And I mean, like, he deserves to retire, but, like, there is no fucking way that if he sells this business that it will be anything anymore. Because the entire appeal of it to me is that he sells the cheapest fucking game. He has multiple games listed for 50 pence each. Common NES games used to go for 50 cents, but we don't sell them for 50 cents anymore. Everything's worth at least, I don't know, a couple bucks, right?
Yeah, but his stuff, I mean, not to say... You're wrong, but his stuff has moved up, but still not expensive.
His stuff has moved up, but you could still find 50 pence games. I'm floored that he hasn't set a minimum price of £1 per game. Like, even that, like, what is the point of going down to cents? Like, just throw them out at that point.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think he definitely could just bump all those up. Like, he could bump those up to like £3 minimum, and he would be doing fine.
But the other thing that makes retrogames.co.uk so excellent is that his store is full of like knowledge and like the descriptions of variants and what's rare. And it's so clearly operated by someone who knows so much about old microcomputer games, not just the games themselves. Like he knows all the gameplay and stuff, but he knows the variants and the rarity of everything. And if you sell that to anyone else, I will not trust it anymore. It will be the same as when JJ Hendricks sold jjgames.com to someone. Who the fuck ever talks about jjgames.com anymore? jjgames.com was like a mainstay of where I talked about variant hunting for like DVD era games with people because it was such a good website to find that stuff. And since it was sold and under new ownership, it's just another stupid game website that doesn't matter anymore, which will happen to retrogames.co.uk. I'm very sad about that, but you know, I think he deserves to retire, so I can only be so upset about it.
I think there's very few people I would trust to put in that position in that store. Not that I think any of them would have his knowledge, but people with the ability to learn or care. I would let you run it, Tyler.
No, what you
That
think?
should be your
I'm
new
not gonna
thing.
know. Like, oh yeah, this Commodore
No,
64 game was made by the famous Lehman Brothers. And
I
a lot of people don't know that when the third brother left development, that's why there's this variant. Like, just
look. One, he's got a database which talks about it, and two, I think you could learn. I didn't say you would know. I
I
said,
could learn, but like I'd also have to know the gameplay and stuff. Like he has played all these games. He's not
yeah,
just
I
like a
know.
poser. Like
Tyler, you talk about when you retire what you want to do. You could do this. Forget the woods and start thinking
and
about the
what I would be
UK.
so sad. I'd be like, oh god, I'm selling like so. An order comes in and it's a bunch of like literal dollar bin stuff. I'm like, oh, I got to get rid of my games for $1 each. I would be so sad.
Tyler, if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. That's what they
I
say.
mean, that must be what his life is, right?
Yeah. Anyways, side note, I just wanted people to know about that. All right, Tyler, let's talk about the Intellivision, a system I am not committed to in any way. I will tell you that I think the Intellivision is kind of bad and that probably has no grails. Disagree?
Sure, I'm going to disagree. I think there
Okay.
are. I think people consider a couple games maybe in television grails.
Okay, what are they?
I don't have the name in front of me. It's
Spiker?
Spiker Street Volleyball.
Super Pro Volleyball?
Spiker Super Pro Volleyball, I think, is the
But what
thing.
about Learn Fun?
This is
Come on.
fascinating because the fascinating thing is if you go on Atari Age, the biggest and best video game collecting forum on the internet, by the way, there are people to this day who still talk about collecting in television because everyone else is on like social media or whatever, but the people on old internet forums are old Atari men and this very small group of old Intellivision men. And as recently as a couple years ago, there was a thread on people arguing about what the true rarest Intellivision games are. And I think the traditional answer is Spiker Super Pro Volleyball. But kind of the up and coming actual rarest game complete in box might be, Johnny, Learning Fun 2. Whoa.
Not
so
Learning Fun 1?
And Learning Fun 1 is up there, but Learning Fun 2, I mean, logically, it's just rare that Learning Fun 2 is up
The
there. Like, who
sequel
would
is
buy
always
Learning Fun
rare,
2
yeah.
before Learning Fun 1 even?
Yeah.
And some of the controversy is that Spiker
Spiker.
is rare as a cartridge, but Learning Fun 2 might be rare complete in box.
Ooh.
And so here's where I'm at with these grails. Literally every single person who was talking about this in this thread owns all 125 Intellivision games. All of them have a set. So there is no grail for anybody because anyone interested in Intellivision has had 40 years to collect all the Intellivision games and they are done. There aren't that many games. And when the rare ones do come up, there's only a few of these guys that are interested in it. And for whatever reason, this is even worse than Atari. Like, people don't care about Atari. You could show even me a copy of Spiker Super Pro Volleyball, and I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. It's the Intellivision grail, I guess. It doesn't do nearly as much for me as the Atari games does. Because Intellivision sucks. I'm sorry to tell you guys.
Now, if you saw one for $100, though, would you buy one?
Fuck yeah, I would buy it. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be the treasure trove games of video games, and I'm going to get all the grails, including the Intellivision grails.
Now, if you found that grail, and let's say you found someone's got both of them and they're cheap, are you going all in and are you completing the set?
I don't know how much I have to imagine.
What, you don't have $45 to complete the set after that?
Like, you could get at least 50% of the Intellivision set for like nothing. Every time you see a lot of Intellivision games, there's like 30 unique games and they're all like the dollar bin games.
Unless you're in the Mountain Madness Super Pro scheme and shit like that.
I don't think I would complete an Intellivision set. I just don't care. I would just be happy owning the rarest stuff. Like, someone has Learning Fun 2 and Spiker. I would just have both of those. And I'd be like, there's my Intellivision grails. I don't need to own the whole set because time on this planet is limited and space in my house is limited. And I don't need that shit in my life for fucking Intellivision. They're better. Not only that, like, Intellivision boxes are bigger than normal boxes, so they have to go on like a special shelf. Just pain in the ass.
I got a couple Intellivision games.
I got rid of
We
most
all
of
do.
mine. A lot of mine were loose though, and I don't think I have a single good thing on Intellivision anymore.
Scooby-Doo's Maze Chase.
I might have that. You know what? I have my sealed copy of Night Stalker, which is my favorite Intellivision game, sitting right there. So
I've got a copy of Night Stalker. Yeah. We have Masters of the Universe, The Power of He-Man. Now that's been going up because of the movie.
That's one of these like boomer things where like people are hyping that in like the COVID boom and just like
boomer things.
Yes,
Intellivision is a boomer thing.
Yeah, exactly. But like, no one's gonna care about He-Man in like Gen Z.
People are the
will
boomers.
never care about He-Man.
All of them.
What?
The people who can collect Intellivision will care because they are the boomers.
Yeah, but that's dying with Gen X. Like, you guys, no one gives a shit about fucking He-Man. We live for SpongeBob and whatever Gen Z grew up watching. I don't know. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
All right. Anyways, that's more than we've ever talked about in television.
It is. Someone is so happy that even though we're being kind of like meh on it, like they're like, oh dude, they're talking about Spiker Super Pro Volleyball finally. To be clear, this is like a $2,000 game. Apparently, one sold last year for $3,000, which was a super record. Usually in the past, it was like a $1,000 or $2,000 game. But I mean, there are people who want this shit.
Yeah.
And it can't be Intellivision people. I have to imagine every single Intellivision person over the past 40 years has had a chance to complete their set. This is people like VG Collectaholic who are trying to get every set of every video game, or like OG CIB, and they're just like, I need all the sets, I need every video game, and I never got around to Intellivision because it's Intellivision. That has to be it.
Well, I need you to go out and buy the Jetson Way with Words and Mud Buggies for me, please.
Stop. I'm not talking more about Intellivision, but Jetson's Way with Words is that's another rare one. That's for the IntelliVoice.
Yeah.
Or what is that? That's like some special game, but that's not as rare, or it's not as expensive anyway because it's like $100.
Oh no, it's more than that.
Oh, what is the Jetson's Way with Words going for?
I don't know. I'm guessing it's more than that.
This is not a grail. It is the first video game based on the Jetsons, so it is a historic video game.
Yeah.
Eat that, NES.
You know, Jetsons, the Jetsons is basically the Air Zonk to Bonk, which is the Flintstones.
Wow.
These are the parallels.
The Air Zonk to Bonk.
Make sense, everyone? Glad you love that comparison.
Last time the Jetsons Ways with Words will ever appear on this podcast.
Well, stay tuned for what you're buying and what you're playing, because I might have news for you.
Johnny, move on from Intellivision. I'm done with this console.
Fine, ColecoVision, let's go. Talk to me about 2010, the action graphic game, because that's the Grail, right? Is that it?
If you asked me to name a ColecoVision Grail, I would have guessed it was Caterpillar SOS, which is it was a game exclusive to like Caterpillar distributors that was like playable in their lobby. I know it's rare.
I'm gonna take your word. I don't know.
Caterpillar, the scheduled oil sampling game. But what are you talking about? 2010 whatever?
The action graphic game. That is simply something I read. Somebody had posted that as the rarest ColecoVision game, but that was a Reddit post. And you know what? I don't think that's true, because I think you can find that game for like $70.
Okay, well, yeah, I think mine's going to win here, because Cat SOS was rediscovered in 2011. So people didn't even have this on their lists until the 2010s.
But if you want to play a game based on 2010, pretty cool. It's got a great cover.
And you're saying it's fucking $100? This doesn't sound like a Grail at all.
No, it's not. But it is a game based on 2010.
But is it an exclusive? So my problem with ColecoVision is that all of the games, including Homebrew, everybody just makes arcade ports. They're just all ports. So is 2010 an actual exclusive ColecoVision game?
I think it is. I think so.
All right. I remember. So I do like that. I do like exclusives for consoles that don't normally have exclusives, because I remember there was like an After Dark where I was considering getting all the Atari 5200 exclusives because there are like 4 of them. And I looked them
There's
up.
not
I'm
a
like,
lot.
oh, they're the 4 most expensive games on the entire console. And then I gave up on that idea.
No, I think Caterpillar is the actual correct answer. I just wanted to bring this up, and I thought if anyone was going to buy random stuff, it might be this, but I don't really know. Okay.
I don't think there's a box for Cat SOS. And I love that it was sort of rediscovered by a guy whose dad worked for Caterpillar.
That is
And
kind
he
of awesome, yeah.
just like showed up on Atari Age and was like, "Hey, I got a new one, guys." Yeah,
You know what?
this Grail rules. I'm saying this Grail rules,
I like it too. I would buy both of these games.
including the 2010 one. I feel like we're putting 2 completely different things as if they're on par with each other.
They are not on
One's
par with
like
each
a
other.
non-commercial release, and the other is just a rare ColecoVision game. Oh wait, we didn't talk about another one. There's another Grail, ColecoVision Donkey Kong in the Complete in Box forum.
Okay.
So this is similar to like Virtua Fighter on Saturn. It was only bundled with the console, Donkey Kong on ColecoVision, and for some reason there's a retail Complete in Box copy. And maybe somebody can tell me why. I never had like a great answer why. This cartridge would also work in Coleco Atom computers. But there's a very rare version of Donkey Kong, which is maybe significant because ColecoVision Donkey Kong is the first console port of Donkey Kong. So it's the first console appearance of Mario, which, very tangential. Who cares? But, it's kind of something. I think the fact that you would have to explain that every single time you show someone what it is makes it immediately less desirable as a Grail. You could just say, oh, hey, this is Cat SOS. It was only at Caterpillar distributors. And people would be like, oh, that's fucking cool. No retail release. I get it. To be like, this is the box for Donkey Kong. All right, let me explain. So every console was packed in with Donkey Kong. And for some reason, there's this standalone retail release. And we don't really know why. And also, let me tell you about, like, so there's these ports of Mario. So obviously the first game with Mario was Donkey Kong in the arcades, and then there was like the Game & Watch. But if you only consider the console games, the first port was to ColecoVision. And even though the original one would have been packed in with the ColecoVision console, this is kind of the first appearance of Mario on a console. So it is therefore the Grail, right?
Okay. I'm gonna go okay on that.
All right.
Games I did not know that were on the Coleco. Goonies.
There's the sequels on NES.
I know. I just didn't know that the first one was on.
I'm guessing it's not the same as Goonies on Famicom, but maybe no, there's no way it is, because Goonies on Famicom would have been made by Konami, and I'm sure Goonies on ColecoVision was not made by a Japanese company.
No. And I don't know. Someone else posted The Castle and Castle Excellent. I don't know what that game is either. I know a lot about games. I don't have much Coleco knowledge, as evidenced by us talking about it right now.
All right. I'm giving the thumbs up to Cat SOS and kind of the thumbs down to everything else. There's probably there's a world in like when I was going out of my mind in like 2022 where I'd have been like, oh yeah, ColecoVision Donkey Kong, that's a cool thing that no one talks about. And now that I've calmed down, I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's probably not the Grail.
Okay. Let's hit another system that my knowledge is pretty bad on. Vectrex. Is it Mr. Boston?
Mr. Boston's clean sweep, Johnny?
Sweep. Yes, sir.
Does anyone care about the Vectrex?
I don't. I'm the wrong person to ask because I really don't. I have never liked the Vectrex. That thing is like, it's like Virtual Boy Jr. and it's a headache machine as well. No, thank you.
When we were at Midwest, there were more Vectrex games from like these old timey vendors than I expected to see.
More than I've ever seen. More than I've ever seen ever.
And like no one's buying them. No one's even like looking through them. They're like, oh, Vectrex, this would be a big annoying box to store, and I don't fucking care because I don't have a Vectrex.
I was offered a Vectrex for free and said no thank you.
Man. I remember when I first started playing pinball, it was at a store that they had a Vectrix on the top shelf for sale, and I remember the guy at the store was like trying to hype it to get people to buy it. He's like, "Oh yeah, the thing completely works. It's a Vectrix. It's one of the coolest, most rare and desirable consoles ever." I think it did have more clout back in when I first started collecting, because there was just a much smaller amount of consoles, so people had more mental space to care about more obscure stuff like the Vectrix. I think people cared about it as like this neat obscure thing, but there's kind of too many things that matter now for the average collector to have room in their brain for Vectrix.
That's why I've said it's the collector spread that I've talked about. Yeah, it's that exact thing. There's too much now. We used to look at like 5,000 games and be like, these are the video games. And now you're like, there's 5,000 games in the last 4 years. What am I even doing?
Like, come on. Has Scott the Woz even made a video about the Vectrix yet? I mean, there's just too much stuff to get to. So yeah, in the era where people are, I guess when I'm saying era, when I first started collecting games, mid 2000s, people would bring up Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep as one of these games that is like one of the grails of old video games. You know, when you're talking about the...
it's an old man grail. I know it, and I don't like anything about this thing.
You know, in the realm of like Chase the Chuckwagon and RCA Studio 2 Bingo, just like this stupid stuff that no one has, but also like who really cares about it. So I will appreciate your old man chops if you come at me with Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep. I'll be like, oh damn, you've definitely been around for a while, because if you'd only been here for a few years, you wouldn't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah. Well, you don't even know about Mindstorm. Do you know about Mindstorm, Tyler?
Oh, Mindstorm 2, you mean? Oh fuck yeah.
Yes, Mindstorm 2, yes.
Do you have a price on Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep?
I don't. I didn't even look.
Cool.
It never shows up. It is rare. Like, it's not just a thing you can go find.
If I went for Mr. Boston Vectrix and the first thing that shows up is gocollect.com. No sales found. That's how rare it is.
Yeah. Well, just going to have to go enjoy some other system, Tyler.
Someone had a cart and the overlay in 2019 and asked for an appraisal on Atari Age, and someone told him $2,000, $2,000 to $3,000.
Okay.
Cool. Go buy that, guys. Buy your loose copy of Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep because you're that desperate to complete your freaking Vectrix collection.
So there was, looks like a private sale cart only at like $7,000 last year. Or $6,000. There was a $6,000 private sale, according to price charting, and looks like just a cart only for that for $7,000. So that's the kind of money we're talking about.
What's the story of Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep, Johnny?
I don't know. Yeah, it's like you are talking to someone who does not care about the Vectrix.
It is a promotional copy of the game Clean Sweep, which is basically just Pac-Man. It's a promotional release for the liquor company called Mr. Boston, for which an ad appears before the game starts. Clean Sweep is obviously not a rare game, but promotional Mr. Boston's Clean Sweep. The Grail.
You know, I love it when it's tied to like a food or a liquor item. I do like that.
This is part of the alcohol set of video games. Put this with your Mario's Brewery for the Commodore 64.
Well, just also like associated with foods. Like, you know, I love that. Put it with your Pepsi Invaders and all that.
Your Tapper
Cool
cabinet.
Things Stone. Yep. I want someone to have that collection, just like Mr. Boston, Pepsi Invaders, Tapper, just all sitting in one room, some wood paneled, like 70s wood paneling room that I can go in and see. Maybe sitting next to their TV that's still on the floor.
Johnny, do I have news for you? My news is the kind of person who owns Mr. Boston Clean Sweep is the kind of person who owns Pepsi Invaders and a Tapper cabinet.
I know. That's why I want to see that collection. I know
think
it's
that
out
video
there.
games died in 1985 when the NES was released and things started getting too goddamn complicated.
What do you need that second button for anyways? Start and select? Pfft.
I don't even have a numpad. How do I enter my difficulty level?
Tyler, let's move away from the Vectrix and talk about something that maybe I have an informed opinion on. Let's talk about the NES.
Okay, I thought it was going to be another stupid old console, and I was going to clarify to everybody that Johnny came up with these games. I was not pressing for stupid old games. The NES, yeah, there's no grails on the NES, Johnny.
Nope. Let's move on. Sega Master System.
Wow, that's long and rich history there.
Yeah. Look, I think we know what the Grail is for the NES,
Do
right?
we?
Everyone.
You think
We
we'd
do-
have
we do.
100% consensus if we asked everybody what the grail on NES is?
I think me and you, if we just count to three and say it at the same time, we're both going to get the same answer, which is NWC Gold. Don't say anything else but that. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Little
NWC Gold.
Samson.
Look, I think Little Samson is some people's Grail. I think that's still a tier below Flintstones too. No, and clearly, like, if you're not saying like an NWC Gold, Gray, or Stadium events, like, what are we talking about, really? And I know there's going to be some NES collector out there. I just called it NES, and I feel a little gross for that. Nintendo collector out there who's going to be like, you don't understand because these games over here are the Panasian games, and like they're going to go off on a bunch of shit I don't care about, unlicensed stuff.
Myriad 6-in-1, Papillon Gals, Hong Kong Mahjong.
Yeah, cool. I did put Mahjong on my list, like as an non-US oddity. I also put Mr. Gimmick on there.
I think all the NES grails maybe have like some kind of issue. NWC is so overhyped. Like, NWC is awesome, but it's like so overhyped on how much it like actually matters. It's a contest that you didn't go to. But I mean, I also recognize like you didn't go to a Caterpillar dealership in 1983 and play Cat House OS. So it's cooler than that. And NWC Gold is part of the set, I'm going to say, because it was released to the public. So everyone's set is incomplete. And once you have one, you can start arguing that to everybody that, oh, I'm the only one with a real NES set because you guys don't even have NWC Gold.
All right, all 14 of those guys.
Yeah. Stadium events, I think we both agree, is clearly bullshit and dumb. I think stadium events would be more interesting if it didn't have a $3 counterpart.
Oh, yeah. If it did not at all, then I would find it a lot harder to argue against.
I think one of the craziest things with stadium events is that there are multiple times that unreleased NES games come up for sale. Like there was a Ninja Taro NES prototype that sold recently, and those sell for less than loose copies of stadium events. So the idea of stadium events is that it's rare and people can't own it, and prototypes of unreleased games sell for less than stadium events, which is fucking crazy.
But it's a different thinking. It's people stadium events is propped up on old thought. Like what I was telling you, like all these old people who made these old lists and said, this is the set. What's the number, Tyler? What's the set number? We all know it. 677.
677. Even though that includes like Mario Duck Hunt, which isn't a unique game. Stupid.
Again, but why is 677 the number? Because we wrote it down wrong once upon a time and we've never corrected ourselves, and it's impossible to correct ourselves now. We made a list on that. Like, remember we made it wasn't exactly a joke episode, but we were definitely illustrating a point on how we would refine the NES list and all the wacky shit you could do. And people thought that episode was insane, but it's not more insane than the actual list we use, which is the crazy thing. It's no more or no worse. It's like no better or no worsely thought out than the actual 677, which contains a bunch of inaccuracies. But stadium events just lives and dies by being on every ancient list and by the story, the narrative that is built on it. And if you go look for it, everybody pours out that information. It's just propped up on this. So we'll forever sit here. And prototypes aren't part of that because no one was collecting a set with the prototypes.
I mean, obviously. And they'll say, like, well, only the licensed retail releases count.
Yeah.
The thing, part of what... this could just be because I'm more interested in homebrew and unlicensed stuff. But, like, people are willing to spend $20,000 on a Stadium Events cartridge, and then that's to complete their set or whatever. And then homebrew and whatever doesn't count. So... they're willing to spend $20,000 on stadium events so they can have quote unquote all the NES games. And they're like not even keeping track of all the homebrew that's coming out. There's more NES games. They're coming out all the time. We got people like tracking the Switch games that are coming out. There are very few people that are keeping good track of like all the homebrew physical releases. And you do have a couple guys. I don't know how complete their sets are, but what are their names? Christian Dietering has like every NES homebrew, and RPG Collector on Video Game Sage. These are guys who like go hard into having all the unlicensed stuff, all the new stuff. But I think like average collectors, like if you ask them for like what even name 10 homebrew games, period, like people can't do that because no one cares about fucking homebrew. Those aren't real games. But if you want every NES game, care about the homebrew.
Some of this is insane. Like you know, I don't care about anything Sachin, but it is insane to me that people also discount all the Tengen games because like those were part of my childhood. Those like every kid knew somebody who was playing back in that era with Tengen games. So it's like, oh, that kid's got Gauntlet. What are these black cartridges? What's Roadrunner? You know, everybody knew these things. Like it's not like, oh, Sachin's like, what is this? No one. It's not like Papillon Gals. It is fucking Pac-Man and Gauntlet. Like what? And Tetris, and those don't count.
But the Accolade games on Genesis, which are unlicensed, those do count.
Yeah,
no one's like unlicensed Genesis games. What are you talking about? They all count.
Yeah, they all count because they're $20. Who cares? Except Action 52 and those Bible games.
I mean, there's even more Grail. We didn't talk about Myriad 6-1 and Cheetahman 2. There's cool stuff.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
I mean, NWC Gold is obviously the best one. I'm going to point to that as the Grail. We didn't talk about the sealed Mario. All right, hold on.
Well, this is where I said, like, we can start getting into conditional rarity and stuff. Is Super Mario the Grail?
So here's the problem, is that every copy of Super Mario Brothers kind of has like an asterisk of like, well, it's not really the thing. So even if there is a factory sealed matte sticker Super Mario Brothers in mint condition, it's like it's the first American release, and you really got the first Japanese release that came before that. And so like I'm not saying that like I think matte Mario sealed would be an amazing Grail. It's just that I hate the fact that it's not the perfect thing. Because, you know, Action Comics #1 is sort of the perfect thing. It's not only the start of Superman, a super popular character, it kicked off superhero comics in general. It kicked off DC comics in general. It's not like the first of all these things, but
that's Superman. But if you talk about Spider-Man, you're not like, well, in Spider-Man #1, it happens.
Yeah, right, it happens. All right, Super Mario Brothers versus NWC. I mean, people have already decided even Super Mario Brothers second print better than NWC. I guess that makes sense. In the way that collectibles work now, I think you should go and get either a first print Super Mario Brothers on Famicom or a matte sticker on NES. And I think even the Famicom copies are going up in price so much that might start being prohibitively expensive. But the fact that I like having sort of the stick in the mud thing that makes the Grail not the Grail, like not the perfect Grail. Like if you have a first print Super Mario Brothers on Famicom, it's kind of like saying like, well, oh, you've got a $3 million Mario. How come mine came first? And I like that kind of stuff.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, I leave it up to other people to decide. I think if you tell me any of these items in your Grail, I'm not thumbs downing you for that. And I think the NES is a place where, like, I think typically Grails there should only be one that exists, but I think especially around NES collecting, there are so many caveats. If you tell me it's stadium events because that's the thing that makes the set. If you tell me it's NWC Gold because you think that's the thing. If you tell me it's Mario, you know, a matte sticker so Mario. Okay, I can't really fight. I don't have a good argument against this console, which is largely filled with a bunch of imperfect items.
Collector's Quest once again saying that everything on NES is perfect. It's the best and most collectible console, and we find no faults with any of its most desirable games.
Yep, that's exactly what we're saying. All right, let's move on to a real console where there's going to be a lot of consensus. Let's talk about the Sega Master System.
Oh, can you explain what that is for people who might not have heard of that?
Oh, okay. So there was this other thing that was sold mainly in South America and Europe and Japan called the Sega Master System. It was this thing that came out before the Genesis, and it's what you had if your parents didn't love you enough. So yeah, there was games on it like Sonic the Hedgehog. Did you know Sonic the Hedgehog was on the Genesis?
The real
And
Sonic the
Altered
Hedgehog? They
Beast?
made the Genesis
Yeah.
game work on an 8-bit console? That's amazing.
Yeah, and Strider, like all these games, man, wow.
Strider's
many
the second
games.
one you bring up. All right.
Sonic
Is there
2.
any Grail on Master System that we would consider besides Sonic? And even calling that a Grail is, I think, really questionable.
So here is what I wrote down on the ones that I think, and again, these ideas have changed over time. So we're kind of living in this flux state. James Buster Douglas boxing used to be kind of the one, right? There's also a bunch of like Blue Label variants and stuff that people get into, the nitty gritty.
That's way
I'm
too
not
in
going
the
to do
weeds,
that
I
right now.
think.
It's like, well, also there's like these collector sets with Donald Duck Dime with a coin. There's a bunch of weird stuff on Master System that you could really get into the weeds too. So I think it's James Buster Douglas boxing, and then like kind of in like 2010 stuff, like we start talking about these UP sticker seals for Sonic and Spider-Man, and you know a couple other games. There's 4, and then you've got like Power Strike because it was a mail away. I think these are what's like Sonic, Power Strike, James Buster Douglas. These are your games. Like, and if you tell me it's Sonic because it's really hard to find a UPC sticker seal on it, sure, it's just a European version of the game with a sticker. All right. If you tell me it's James Buster Douglas because it's rare, okay. If you tell me it's Power Strike because it's a mail away, even though I think there's plenty of those available, I think that's the worst answer. I guess. I don't love any of these, to be honest.
Yep. So James Buster Douglas actually has cooled off since COVID.
Quite a bit.
It was going for $1,500, almost $2,000, and it's back down to about $100 or $1,000.
Like back in the day, it was like a $200 to $400 game. Sonic with the UPC was about $500.
Johnny, now that we are talking about less rare stuff, to be honest, a lot of the vintage stuff is very rare, and I think you could probably find some of the Nintendo Grails for sale at any given time. But there's definitely some of that Nintendo stuff that just won't be for sale right now. Like there's probably a Stadium Events cartridge on eBay. There's probably not an NWC Gold for sale anywhere right now. But when we're talking about Sega Master System, here's where I want to get into how often a thing is for sale, I think matters, because everything you could consider a quote unquote grail on the Master System is available for sale. There are multiple UPC Sonics for sale. There are multiple James Buster Douglases for sale. And, you know, Buster Douglas, the rarest SMS game, it comes up like 4 times a year. It's not insane to get one. If you're gonna ask me to put a limit on things, I think when we're talking about words like rare and grail, I ideally want it to not be for sale at all, because that means, oh shit, you have to go find one. But if it does come up, I think once a year might be a good ballpark for how rare something could be before you should really call it rare or a grail. Because if it starts coming up every few months, it's like, well, all right, you just get one when it comes up every few months. Also, to be clear, we didn't describe the UPC things. So some of these games, like Sonic the Hedgehog and Strider and Spider-Man and Golden Axe Warrior, those are the 4. They are identical between the international releases and the American releases. And the way you tell the American releases apart is that on the back of the box, not the shrink wrap, on the box itself, there is a UPC sticker that covers the original UPC. And that UPC adds like $1,000 of value sometimes to these games.
Wasn't there a 5th game found with the UPC?
Oh, is there? I mean, couldn't you just box swap any of these?
I mean, you could theoretically, yes.
I mean, you wouldn't, but like if that ever happened, that could account for a 5th one showing up. But maybe there is a 5th one. I don't know. I'm not like some
Isn't
Sega
it like
Master
Double
System.
Hawk?
What is it?
Double Hawk or something?
Double Hawk? Dude, I don't even know what Double Hawk is. What are you talking about?
It's the set killer now for the Master System.
Okay, there it is. All right, we're talking about real grails, guy. UPC Double Hawk. Yeah.
All right. No one. Ignore that. Pretend you didn't hear it. I don't know.
I've never heard
All right.
of this. Maybe this is like secret information you weren't supposed to tell us.
Maybe
Is Double Hawk? Did that come out in America? Do I own this game?
you don't.
Wait, this is what do you this didn't come out in America.
No, it didn't. That's why I said.
So why do I care if it has a UPC or not? The whole point is that it's for the American set. These are the hard ones.
Because it was really because once it gets the UPC sticker on it, it becomes an American release, much like Sonic.
No, forget that. I want proof. I want you to show me a receipt from Best Buy that you bought Double Hawk in America. Get out of here with this UPC.
I mean, I can show you a guy who's got a receipt, who's got a Sonic, and it doesn't have a UPC on it. What the fuck are we supposed to do about that?
I mean, that was just an import. That wasn't the real release. You got a fake.
But it was sold in a real chain, at Toys R Us, not in some bullshit place. Whatever. Just whatever. Yeah. Anyways, let's move on from.
What are your
Sega
thoughts?
Master...
I'm saying no grails on Sega Master System.
Agreed.
All right.
I'm not. Actually, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to say what people consider to be grails, like basic people, common folk, collectors who aren't deep in the weeds, like myself. There are no grails for me, but I think there's people who are deep in the weeds in Master System, and there are grails for them, especially when you expand beyond the U.S. shores.
Oh yeah, when you get into that, because they have 3 times as many games, and I don't even know enough about that to comment on.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying that's why I didn't want to paint it with the full brush without contextualizing that there is so much beyond our knowledge that like people who are deep into Master System, especially I'm sure Galdius is going to tell us something about some Playtronic tech toy release bullshit that there's like been 2 found ever. I'm sure those exist.
I know we have a couple big Master System guys who listen. Probably they're all in South America, but to be clear, yes, we shit on Master System all the time, and it is because we got like 100 games here. We basically got the Wii U, and you guys got the Nintendo Switch, and that is why we are so down on the Master System.
Yes. All right. For some reason, I wrote Atari 7800 here and not Atari 5200 at all anywhere in my notes.
Well, we're going back to the bullshit now?
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to take that off my list. I don't care about that.
I think the Atari 7800 Grail, I think, is Tank Command, and it's such a Grail that I'm pretty sure I found one for $400 sealed, and I just sent it to VG Collectaholic.
Nice. Yeah, I have Tank Command written down as well. For the 5200, it would be, I forget what it's called, but one of the exclusives, and I would call that not a Grail as well.
Yeah, we were on After Dark. That's where I was shopping. It's like, I could buy these right now for like $300.
Yeah, it's like too much money and like not enough intrigue.
Yeah, if I'm like looking at a game and I'm like, $300. Yeah, it's not a Grail. Sorry.
Yeah, I've spent $300 on so many dumb things, and if you can't get me to spend it on your Grail, nah. All right. You want to do TurboGrafx or Genesis first?
TurboGrafx 16, Johnny.
Magical Chase is the Grail.
Is there even like some weird? I mean, you could go to like the PC Engine, and then is it like Darius Alpha, which is the PC
Sapphire,
Engine,
a real copy of Sapphire?
I don't even know if I don't think if Sapphire's a Grail. I think it's an expensive, desirable game. Like the problem is, yeah, like you said, like the bootlegs. There's so many. Like, is a real copy a Grail? I don't know, man. I think we're just gonna go with Magical Chase on the TurboGrafx 16.
Yeah, I mean, and that's encompassing for all the Turbo people. Sorry, we're wrapping the Duo and the CD up in that as well. I don't have independent Grails for those. You want to talk about Airzonk or Bonk 3 CD?
Nope. Okay. I don't, because Magical Chase just eclipses them so much, I think.
Yeah.
All right, here's the first one where I want to talk about a phenomenon, because I think KO Flying Squadron falls into this same phenomenon. Is Magical Chase the rarest TurboGrafx game? I actually don't know this. Is it so much rarer than everything else, or is it like on par with like Legend of Hirotanma and whatever?
You know, I don't know.
So there are
I would like to say it's rarer than those.
Okay. So it could be the actual rarest one. There are
But
4
they're
on
available.
eBay.
There's more than 4.
A lot of them
one's
are
a bullshit
PC
copy,
engine
never mind.
versions. I see
Yeah.
2 complete in case ones and 2 complete in box ones. Oh, another one. So there's 5 I see. 3 of them are boxed or sealed. So that's like, I mean, this is an incredibly expensive game, but like they're out there. This isn't like Nintendo World Championships. You kind of got to hunt one down. Like you got 15 grand to blow. You can go get yourself a Magical Chase. But I think part of what made this such a big deal, and I could be wrong about this. This is my personal theory in experiencing the hobby of game collecting. 20 years ago, shooters were an incredibly collectible genre. People wanted shooters. You could just collect shooters. You post a picture of all your shooters on your bed, and people would be like, damn, look at all the cool import and rare shooters this guy has. And to be like 2D shooters, shoot 'em ups. And games like Magical Chase and KO Flying Squadron were not only in the rarest thing of a set, but they were also an exclusive 2D shooter, which is very exciting and cool. And I think that made them expensive 20 years ago, and that has continued to make them expensive now, even though 2D shooters are nowhere near as collectible as they used to be. Which, you know, you could agree with or not on how collectible shooters should be. I think they should be collectible. But I think the average person cares a lot less about shooters than they used to.
I think that's true. Also, I think there's just a plethora of shooters now, and so many remakes. Like they're just everywhere now, right? Like you can't go a foot without tripping over a shooter or a remake collection on the Switch of old shooters that used to be hard to get. So there's none of this like, oh, they're hard to get, and it's like they're hard to play, and and the people who did it were super dedicated and were good at games, and you had to get good with shooters. And now it's like modern remakes and, you know, making them easier. I think there's a couple things I think that have been lost from the genre.
So that said, Magical Chase is one of those games where you see it on the shelf and it just kind of hits you. It's like, oh, fucking shit, this guy's for real. It's a very colorful and distinctive box. And it's an exclusive. And yeah, it was ported to like Windows and Game Boy Color. I'm not even counting that. It's not like an arcade port. It's a real TurboGrafx game, which I think counts for something. It's not like absolute bullshit like Stadium Events where like it's only existing to be rare. Yeah, I'm counting Magical Chase. I'm saying it has Grail status, even though there are fucking 5 of them available on eBay if you're willing to spend $13,000 for a complete one.
Let me ask you some stuff too. How do you feel about games much like this and Stadium Events, which have much cheaper like Japanese or PAL copies?
What's a Japanese one go for? People are asking ridiculous prices for the Japanese and PAL copies on eBay, but I bet they're cheaper in Japan. But I still see them like in the range of like $1,000 for a Japanese or PAL copy. Yeah.
Like
I don't think it really matters.
Okay.
I think if you're collecting the US set, like the fact that something's cheaper in Japan, that's kind of like always the case for a lot of our stuff.
But like Stadium Events though, like, oh, I can go spend $400 and get a copy of a loose copy of Stadium Events. Oh, but it's PAL B. It's like,
yeah, I have a new in-box Japanese copy that I got for like probably $40 because it's nothing.
But I mean, like in Stadium Events case, it's called Stadium Events.
Yeah,
it's just called Stadium Events. It's Stadium Events. Works on a Nintendo, kind of.
Honestly, I think the fact that people would consider buying a quote unquote like wrong region copy as a placeholder probably increases the Grail status of the American copy, because it shows that people want it so bad they're buying things that aren't the real thing to try to feel like they own the real thing. Sorry for everybody who owns a PAL Stadium Events, but you guys know the deal. You did this to yourselves.
It's either that or they are buying it because it's just so much cheaper, and it's like just a money thing, like not even the status. Like, oh, I'm gonna own it, but you know, I wouldn't spend $500, but I'd spend $100.
I mean, I own Stadium Events. It's on my cartridge. It says World Class Track Meet on it, and my set is complete as a result.
Yeah, excellent news. Cool list.
I've got
of
the common
642. Yeah, you've got the list of 642, right?
Dude, no one knows. Didn't we do an episode where we corrected the NES list to get out all the
Yeah, we
stupid
did.
multi-carts
I
and
talked about that.
re-releases?
Like, that's what I was talking about. Like, people were so mad at that list too. But like I said, it's not more wrong or more correct than the current 677.
However,
and that's what we were illustrating.
I don't. In that episode, I'm almost positive, because this is the way I think, that I would have argued for NWC Gold as counting as part of the set. And I think you're weak for trying to discount it. So I don't have an NES set because I don't have NWC Gold, obviously.
Oh, okay. We'll just buy a gray and spray paint it gold. You'll be fine. All right. Let's move on from TurboGrafx and let's get into something like the next couple, like in the Sega line are interesting. Genesis. I want to know what you wrote down for Genesis. What did you write down as the holy grail for Genesis?
I didn't write down anything, Johnny, but it's Blockbuster World Championships 2.
Even though that's a non-retail release, it's just a thing that exists.
You care about retail releases? I do not care about retail releases. I want all the good stuff.
So, over Outback Joey?
Obviously. Well, yes, Blockbuster World Championships over Outback. Outback Joe? Who the fuck cares about Outback Joey? Even Sega people don't care about Outback Joey. Half of them just discount it. It's not even like... more people discount Outback Joey than discount stadium events. They just don't even think about Outback Joey.
To be clear, I did not write down Outback Joey. Here's what I wrote, what the people think is the grail of the Genesis. Musha and Crusader of Senti. That is what people think. That's what people wrote. Look, Musha, part of your shooter argument for the longest time was the grail of Genesis. No one was talking about Blockbuster World Championship 2. Nobody except us is still talking about Blockbuster World Championship 2. So it's Musha and Crusader of Senti is the real answer. And then if you're getting into like Japanese stuff, you got like Eliminate Down and like Twinkle Tail. And the real answer is Tetris.
Oh, you're getting cross region here with Mega Drive Tetris, the unreleased super rare version of Tetris for Mega Drive, which has for some reason become a grail because it's Tetris. Because if it was literally any other game, it would just be Ninja Taro and NES and no one would really care. Crusader of Senti is too common to be a grail. I'm sorry, this game comes up basically every month. It is expensive.
I think it's a grail. I think it's a bad one. I think it's still a grail.
I don't know why people care about Crusader of Senti. I'm going to be completely honest. It's exclusive and it's an action adventure game, which cool.
It's like Zelda. It's just like Zelda.
You might as well pay $2,000 for like Newtopia. Like it's
you know what you should do instead? Buy Zelda.
You could also buy Zelda. You guys ever think of that? It'll cost you less. And you know what? One day people will be like, "What's Crusader of Senti?" And they'll be like, "Wow, you have Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past." Man, I wish I could get one of those. Not a lot of boxes of those left around, huh?
Yeah, you should get the real grail.
Or just everyone who cares about video games is gonna die. But let's see, how many Newtopias sell compared to Crusader of Senti? Let's go to Newtopia 2. Let's make it even harder for Crusader of Senti.
Okay.
Oh, honestly, more than I thought. Newtopia 2 comes up once a month, complete in box. Really? Maybe that's complete in case. Either way, I mean, these are comparable, and Newtopia 2 is 4 times cheaper. Who cares? Someone who cares about Crusader of Senti, explain yourself. Maybe it's better than Zelda. Because you know what? I kind of feel that way about Golden Axe Warrior, which, again, not really Grail status, but on the upper end of Sega Master System. Maybe Crusader Senti is just so unbelievably good that it's just like Little Samson, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just kind of one of these games that's always been on top because it's rare-ish in Zelda, and so it's just remained on top.
I'm going to give you some fuel, right, to expand your argument. I think you made the argument for shooters, but I'm going to tell you I think you're wrong. I think there are specific genres like shooters and RPGs that back in the day, everyone, again, much like the shooters, you had it on yourself. People are like, oh, this guy's legit. He's got all these RPGs. This one falls into that. And it's also made by Atlas, which is a longtime collectible publisher. So it's got those two things going for it. Musha, a shooter. Atlas and RPG, the Genesis showing off exactly what Old Man Thinking was like in 2006.
All right. I'm sorry. It's not a grail. I'm out. I have one. I have one, and I probably just I bought it one day when I needed it for my set, and I remember specifically having trouble hunting down certain Genesis games, like some of the Accolade variants, and like Action 52 on Genesis is like kind of rare. But sorry, thumbs down to Crusader Ascenti. Also, we said PAL version of Magical Chase. I don't even know that Magical Chase was released in Europe, Johnny. Just to be clear, the Japanese publisher of Magical Chase is named PALSoft.
No, I said PAL game when it's released in PAL territories, like stadium events. I was using that as citing, not specifically Magical Chase was released in Europe. Or PAL territories. That's not what I was saying. Okay.
All right.
But I can see why there's confusion. All right, Tyler, let's move on. Bad grails, except for Blockbuster World Championship 2.
Oh, what a surprise. The game that Johnny owns, it counts as a grail on Collector's Quest. Okay, yeah, sure.
You're the one who put it there. I didn't even put it there. I don't even advocate for myself in such a way. All right, let's talk about Game Boy.
Wait, no, I want to let's continue on the Segas. Let's go to 32X and Sega CD because I got some real ones.
Oh, okay, 32X, Spider-Man, go.
No, fuck Spider-Man. What? If I could walk around a convention and see a game, it's not a grail.
Okay,
I mean, whatever.
Has no
there was a couple stadium events at Midwest, but
yeah, there was more than one. So what are you talking about? There was probably less Spider-Man Web of Fires than there were stadium events.
I don't know that that's true because there's that guy at Midwest that has like all the Sega stuff every year.
He did not have a web of fire. He might have had a web of fire, but he would be the only one. That'd be one. There's
what?
2 stadium
events. There is a grail on 32X. It's not Web of Fire, Johnny. It's Dark Side.
Oh, I forgot about Dark Side, but that's not released over here.
I mean, yeah, but it's if you're gonna say 32X and grail in the same sentence, I feel like the only thing that even fits that is Dark Side. Which, to be clear, it's a European exclusive shooter. It's like a 3D shooter, right?
Yeah. So there for the 32X, there's only 3 games that were not released in the US that you can find in other territories. Darkside being one of them, Romance of the Three Kingdoms, and I want to say FIFA Soccer, like 96 or something.
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy about 32X.
I think so it's a very easy console to get the world set from.
Except for Darkside. What is a Darkside for?
Probably at least a cool 2,000 to 5,000.
That's a good estimate. The last one sold a couple months ago for $4,000 by a little-known seller, Dream TR. Oh, it was a best offer. I don't know what it sold for.
Well, that puts me
right in the range. The fact that it's on eBay is like, someone was able to just buy it on eBay. The fact that they had to get it from famed collector and owner of most video games, Dream TR, is perhaps an indication that only the real ones have copies of Darkside for the 32X.
You might be a real one if.
You might be a real one if you have Darkside.
Indeed.
Purchased by me, new directly from the company in the 90s. Man, I want to live his life.
I don't think...
What kind of, prescience do you need to have to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy this copy of Darkside. This is going to be a grail in 30
You
years.
don't need to have any prescience. You just need to have a mental disorder that says, I'm going to buy every video game.
Yeah. Sorry, Corey. But as a result, you'll have every good video game, Corey.
Look, Tyler, we're afflicted with the same mental illness.
We are.
How are your 10,000 plus games doing? Not counting the ones that
rotten, let me tell you.
Yeah, not counting the ones that are duplicates and need to be sold. By the way.
So, all right, the one thing I think Darkside has going against it is that no one fucking knows what Darkside is unless you're a Sega
Nobody
guy.
knows what. I forgot about it until you said it and I own one.
That's great. You're the biggest Sega guy I know.
I totally just blanked on it, but I also was trying to think about US stuff.
But I do think
North America.
I think it's a grail. I think it counts. And I know we're probably not going over a lot of multi-region stuff because I bet there's a Sega Master System grail that actually counts. But I'm counting Darkside. I think you're cool for owning Darkside. I think you're a real one.
I think you're cool for owning Romance of the Three Kingdoms 4.
I think our Koei Jesus, the Tiger Wolf, would probably think that.
Okay, let's talk about Sega CD then.
Hell
we went
yeah.
to 32X instead of CD, which is crazy.
This is a cool one. Because I think that, what are we saying, the top 3 games on Sega CD, minus the weird stuff? You're going to talk about Comptons and whatever.
Yeah.
The 3 retail games that are the top are probably Snatcher, KO Flying Squadron, and the Space Adventure. And I think they're all up there for different reasons.
Yes.
So Space Adventure may be the rarest retail Sega CD game, but never had the clout that the other 2 games had. Snatcher is up there for pure clout. It's probably uncommon, you would put it in terms of rarity, but it's Hideo Kojima, super cool cyberpunk art, just a really cool visual novel in general. And then KO Flying Squadron is rare, and it has the clout of being a 2D shooter, and it kind of came to prominence in an era where we all thought 2D shooters were the coolest. And Sega CD maybe doesn't have that many cool games that are gameplay focused. Like, you have a couple of other shooters on the Sega CD, and this is one of the games that plays like a real video game that people would actually want to sit down and play. Sorry, Sega CD. I love the Sega CD so much, but that's also a reason I think KO is up there.
Fair.
I think if we had a redo, if we started Sega CD, like Sega CD came out at the same time as the Wii U, and we were just now kind of determining what the grails are, I think it would be Snatcher, right?
Probably.
Even though it's not the rarest?
Yeah, I think so. Being Kojima, I think, is doing a lot of work, right?
I do think it's doing a lot of work. And again, just I think 2D shooters are not as prominent as they once were. People have plenty of shooters to play on the Switch and whatever. But, Johnny, Sega CD is even better because both of us know a fucking lot about the Sega CD. So how about you give me another real grail for the Sega CD? Also, I'm kind of saying none of those are really grails. They're all too common to be considered grails.
And to be clear, even though I think maybe Wonder Dog Red Box is a game.
No, get the fuck out of here with that.
Look, it's a first release, and you're talking about a game that's like, I don't know, there's maybe 2 on eBay or 3 on eBay. Which is like less than the number of stadium events that are currently on eBay.
It's true. If 3 people wanted Wonder Dog, it could be rarer than stadium events. But Johnny, guess how many people want Wonder Dog? It's nobody.
It's nobody. So there are things like Dracula 2.0, which is just a variant. You could buy Bram Stoker's Dracula, and you can actually get version 2.0 in the double pack. But the exclusive with it labeled version 2.0 on the front is not something that comes up very often, and serious collectors collect. But that's not what I would even put as
not
the
a grail
grailiest grail.
Dumb. Cool, very. I like it a lot, but to even put it in the same conversation as grail is ridiculous.
Yeah, don't agree. I think you could say Surgical Strike, which, if you know any of the shit about Surgical Strike, like maybe it was released in like Brazil or something, or like there was supposed to be a copy of Surgical Strike coming out for the Sega CD, and it didn't get released, or maybe it did, and there's like 1 box copy has ever been found.
So the 32X CD release did get released in South America.
Yeah. So I think people can say that. Like, you could say Surgical Strike, maybe.
So Surgical Strike is just a game, but the Surgical Strike CD 32X came out in South America, and you're saying it might have came out in America, but almost definitely didn't?
Well, I'm not misremembering, because one of them is it's not Jungle Strike. Maybe it is Jungle Strike or Desert Strike. That's like labeled that Sega CD version coming, and then it never wound up being released, and then 1 copy was found in South America.
I mean, no, I think you're talking about Surgical Strike. Yes, it's an extremely rare 32X CD game that only released in South America, only released in Brazil by Tectoy.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I need to know, Galdius, if you're listening to this, post your Surgical Strike. That's got to be That's one of the things that even Americans know about, like real Sega nerd Americans. But yeah, Surgical Strike 32X.
But again, I think we are overburdened with too much information. Like the fact that I can tell you about this thing kind of, and then be like a Dracula 2.0. And have you seen the Black Text Compton pack in when there's typically that's nerd bullshit. And that's why if the regular person is just going to be like, yep, it's going to be Koei and Snatcher. And I think those are the right answers.
So the reason that there's confusion about whether it came out in America is that the front of the Surgical Strike box, it says there's a free copy of the CD32X version if you mail in a coupon, but that never actually existed in America. But there were very few copies of that Surgical Strike CD32X version found in Brazil. So that's the whole, like, what the hell's going on here kind of thing. You know what? If you're a Sega CD guy, I'm going to say this is a grail. Sure, because where the hell are you going to get one?
Yeah. There are weird things to chase on the Sega CD. Like,
tell me about Compton's Encyclopedia. This was the hottest thing back in the Sega Age, Sega CD thread days.
Well, it was just because we were looking for every stupid variant. So, once upon a time, back in the JVC XI, we had these pack-ins, right? So, and came with Compton's, the pack-in version. And typically you see it and it's got blue text on the disc. The retail release has black text. That's fine. But then there's also one with red text on it. And you're like, oh, that's interesting that there's two different, can you believe there's two different texts? And you're looking for, you're just like, oh, nothing's too expensive. I'm going to just try to own both of these fucking things. All right. And then a black text version pops up and you're like, wait a minute, what is this? What is this one? Why does this exist? I don't know. And to be clear, I don't know how many have ever surfaced since the one I bought and the one I didn't buy have popped up because I stopped looking and no one cares about this. So there is a version with with black text on it, which is not the retail release, which is the not for resale packed in. Not sure which system it even comes with. Exactly, if it was the blue box or the brown box, but it exists.
To be clear,
I think it's
Compton's
the blue box.
was packed in with the JVC freaking XI.
And the original one I saw it with was the blue box. There is just like a one that looks like that you'd buy at an audio like home audio and theater store. It's just like a brown box, looks ugly. There's also that version of the JVC XI, and that's typically where the red text was found, but I think it's been found in both. It's just these are different version releases. The one I saw the black text in was in the blue box.
So black text Compton's Encyclopedia. This is the kind of thing where it is so in the weeds. We are so far up our own ass. There's no way this can count as a grail.
No, absolutely not.
I think there has to be some kind of universal desirability, and this has no desirability. I think one of the only people in the planet who's ever cared about this is Final Fight CD, who is in our Discord.
Yeah, me and him. We're the only people. And here's my sob story. So I lost the auction for the first one I ever saw. The first one that was ever documented to a group of Sega CD collectors. And I had a power outage as the fucking auction was counting down, and I could not get my bid in, and sadness resolved instantly. And I remained sad for several years until I finally found one.
Hey guys, Gixon.com. Our recommendation for an eBay sniping service that's pretty cool. I like it a lot, even more now because the website looks like GeoCities, and I like old things. But it is kept up to date with the eBay API. The guy is just not a web designer. Love that thing.
If you go on right now to eBay, you will find several pack-in offers, and you will see blue and red ones. But you will not see a black one. If you see a black one, it's probably the retail release, so don't confuse it. There is a not for resale black text one.
It's the grail.
It's the grail.
Let me talk about the real grail. Also a JVC XI grail. You know what?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to put it up there as one of the rarest video game software pieces that has ever existed of all time. That isn't a prototype, as far as I know. It's the electronic book decoder for JVC XI, a game that is so rare, I think there's only one picture of one that exists. and it has a price tag of $200. I don't know if it was taken at a convention or something, but man, I want to go back to 20 years ago when that picture was taken and just buy that thing for $200. Because who the fuck knows what electronic book decoder is?
Did you like me, you, and two other people?
It's an e-reader for Sega CD, which is very stupid. It doesn't read any formats I think that normal people use these days. It read some proprietary ebook format. And you like read a book with the Sega Genesis controller. What a stupid thing. And the only reason I ever knew this existed is because like the Sega Retro Wiki had like a stub article of it with this picture, and it's like, what the hell is this thing? And one day, there was a JVC service center selling a bunch of old stock stuff, and I found a freaking manual for electronic book decoder. It's not like a DVD, not like a Genesis case manual. It's like a whole ass 8.5 by 11-inch service manual that would like fit into a binder. I am convinced this game is out there and exists. Is it a grail? I don't think so, because I don't think anybody's actually looking for it.
Well, let's talk about Penn and Teller. What about Penn and Teller? You don't want to tell the people about Penn and Teller?
I mean, Penn and Teller was unreleased. There's not like a released version of it that's exciting or anything.
It's like a demo.
What do you mean?
There's a demo for Penn and Teller that's out, I think.
So the full game is out, and people have like made repros of it, but I don't think there's anything collectible of any of this. I don't know. Is there a collectible demo? I feel like that's not a real thing.
I thought there was. I think there is. Anyways, doesn't matter. We've spent a lot of time on Sega CD. Hey,
because we love Sega CD.
This list is pretty long, Tyler. We're not even halfway through, and we are an hour and 50 minutes into this episode. All right.
No real grails on Sega CD. I'm sorry for the very rare stuff like Compton's and electronic book decoder, but I don't think you're desirable enough to reach grail status.
Nope. All right, Tyler, let's go backwards. Let's talk about the Game Boy. Any grails?
Niv Bible.
Niv Bible. That's the one?
I don't
like Amazing Tater.
Are you saying that because you own a sealed copy of Amazing Tater, Johnny? You're trying to pump your own stuff again?
Yep. Spud's Adventure, Amazing Tater. Let's go.
I don't think.
I mean, there's a lot of Game Boy. There's a lot of weird stuff, honestly. Like, you could get into publisher variants. I think Amazing Tater and Spud's Adventures are the ones that are known. But, like, are those really the grails anymore? Do people care about those?
I think.
Is Pokemon the grail?
Oh, is Pokemon the grail? No. So I think that Amazing Tater and Spud's Adventure are kind of this thing where people decided that these are the most exciting games many, many years ago, and it's just carried forward. But I think serious Game Boy collectors, they probably, if they're collecting the set, they probably hit all these sorts of roadblocks where it's like, God damn, I need this one game and I can't find a good complete in box anywhere. And you can just go get an Amazing Tater right now. 100% complete in box looks amazing. It's just $7,700.
Oh, that's good. Let's go get two.
It's Joan Bone. He's going to ship that, right? He's going to give you an autograph with that copy.
Yeah. Look,
nice
if I
copy.
Needed to buy one, I would be happy to buy a copy from Joan Bone.
Yeah. But that is the only copy. I'm assuming it's overpriced. Let's go look at Spud's Adventure. I don't know. I don't know if these are grails. They're also kind of like a set of like two games that are always together.
And also Atlas.
Yeah. Wow, there's no complete in box Spud's Adventures.
Like, you could also say like Sumo Fighter. There's so much weird stuff on the Game Boy. People argue about the Game Boy. F1 pole position.
F1 pole position. I feel like that was the actual grail for a long time. So Spud's Adventure, no complete in box on eBay. I just sold a cartridge, and I'm like worried that I sold it too cheap, but actually my cartridge sold for way too much money. I sold it for $485 and had a faded top. And like,
was this like an extra copy you had?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I upgraded my copy because I didn't like that it had a faded top. I'm almost positive it's I bought it from like a GameStop or something, and it had the sticker placed on the top of the cartridge, and I did a bad job removing the label, and I kind of like fucked up the top of the label, so I bought another copy. Sorry, whoever bought my copy of Spud's Adventure.
Yeah.
I was young. I needed the Game Boy games.
This is a problem trading cards will never have. No one's on there just being like, I'll stick a sticker directly on this card.
Yep.
Well, in fact, let's do that for every single one that's ever existed. Fuck.
I don't know. Like, by some metric, Spud's Adventure, very desirable game. No copies on eBay, complete in box. I don't think there's even a copy in eBay sold right now. And like, I still wouldn't really consider it a grail. I don't know. It doesn't have the juice for me. I don't know why I'm biased against this. And it could just be that there are so many. So for one, there are a lot of cartridges available, and two, I know Game Boy boxes in general are just so rare. Like, how many people threw out their Game Boy boxes? Everybody. At least 19 and 20 people just immediately threw out all their Game Boy boxes. So,
yeah.
I don't know. What are your thoughts on the grailness of Game Boy here?
I think the Game Boy has grails, but like, what is the grail? Like, what is going to be perceived as the grail? I don't know. I think Amazing Tater is an okay choice. I think F1 Pole Position or Sumo Fighter, these are fine. You know, you can go get them. I don't know. Game Boy is kind of hard to place. There's not that thing that pops off where it's like this huge consensus where everyone's like, this is the thing. I think if there's any kind of consensus on what people are chasing, it's just Pokemon right now. So, and I don't feel like that's a good grail. So yeah,
I feel like you do
Tyler.
need consensus, but then how do we justify NES where we have so many different grails in NES? But like, all of them have their own kind of people chasing them, except for some of the, like,
and a lot
stuff.
of time the same people are chasing all three of those things on NES. So like, that's what I'm saying. Like, and for Game Boy, it's like they're just collecting it because this is the set, and that's not wrong, but like, the hype around Amazing Tater isn't real.
Hey guys, this is an update for you on availability. There is a mint complete in box F1 Pole Position. What I would probably off the top of my head call the rarest Game Boy game, but that could be wrong. For sale for $13,000 from Game Galaxy Arcade, which is Jason Wilson, Dream TR.
Yeah, the same seller, Dream TR, also has Wayne's World and Captain America at the exact same price.
With the
and Hammer and Harry.
He's got Sumo Fighter priced higher than F1 Pole Position. That's interesting. I mean, he knows more about this stuff than me. Damn, he has a lot of Game Boy games priced at $13,000. Holy shit.
Yeah. He's also got... Also, I love he just casually fucking putting it on the carpet. Just like, yeah, it's not even on like a towel or anything. Just like, throw it on the carpet.
Beethoven on Game Boy, the PAL Beethoven game is worth 20 grand, Johnny. Okay.
Sure thing, guys.
I had no idea.
Me either. Beethoven, the real grail. You heard it here first. Like, you can tell it's him because he's got white carpet in the background, which I love.
You can tell it's him because he has like some random arcade and pinball stuff next to like these super, super rare video games. All right.
Anyways, I think we can move on. I don't know. Like, I think you can pick any of those. I don't think they're great grails, though. They don't impress me.
We got cooler stuff on the Game Boy Color to talk about.
We do. Can't wait to talk to you about the Game Boy Color. All the good stuff on Game Boy Color. But first, we're going to talk about the Neo Geo. Hey, is it Metal Slug? Is it Ultima 11? Is it the Kazuna Encounter?
Kazuna Encounter. Does anyone care about Kazuna Encounter, or did we all just read the same blog posts?
Probably we all read the same blog post. We disseminate the
Slug,
same bad
Neo
information.
Turf Masters is super rare in America, right? I'm sorry. Whatever the weird Japanese version of that is called.
Yeah.
Generic Tournament Golf or whatever the name is.
Yeah. Don't know.
I don't know enough about Neo Geo to give Grail status. Yes, sure. Yes. All of them are Grails because Neo Geo people are crazy and they all want that stuff and it's all expensive, rare, and desirable. I'll believe any Neo Geo game is rare except for like Nam 1975.
And Magician Lord.
Oh, why are you criticizing the two Neo Geo games I own, Johnny? Come on.
I'm funny. I'm hilarious. People don't understand the like level of jokes that go in. This is so dumb. All right. Yeah, I know you're just impressed with the pool. That I know that that you have Magician Lord. All right,
Man.
let's talk about Super Nintendo. Here's one we both have some experience with. All right, what is the Grail? Tell me what the Super Nintendo Grail is.
It's Max with the CRT TV and the rifle.
No.
I think Max can count as a Grail if you got the freaking crate.
I think you could, but I think it's too off the beaten path.
Yeah, you're probably right on that. It's not freaking. Is it Hagane now? But like Hagane and then Mountain Bike Rally Speed Racer.
Yeah, but I mean,
like neither of those feel Grail status to me.
No, but do we like Star Fox Competition Weekend and Donkey Kong Competition better?
No, I realize these are games worth thousands of dollars now, but I just feel like they're too available. Maybe Donkey Kong with the case.
Yeah.
I want something that, like, when I see a magical chase, I'm just like floored by like, oh damn, you won game collecting. And what's the game on SNES that's going to do that for me?
I mean, if you showed me a Star Fox Weekend, I would be pretty impressed.
All right, I'll send you a copy of my loose cart.
Especially if you got the scorecard.
I sure don't. I like Max with the if you got like the Max gun and the crate, and there's 2 gun variants too. So this is like a piece of like US Army equipment. And so it's shipped in a crate. I've seen one picture of the crate. Apparently it was for sale for like $50,000. And it comes with a tiny CRT TV and a gun and a cartridge to play. This is if you don't know, Max is a light gun game that uses the Super Nintendo and a mock like M16 rifle, so you could practice target shooting with a video game. Super good idea. They're definitely going to do this. This is how soldiers are going to train in the future. Turns out not. Turns out America just likes producing tons of guns and ammo. We could just use real ammo. That's neat.
Yeah, neat enough.
No one has it. You know what? The world record holder of the largest video game collection that has ever been assembled, Antonio something, he's got a cartridge of Max, and he shows it off in his collection tour, and that's how you know it's a real Grail.
Yeah. I've got a copy of Max. Does he have Target Simulator? Which version does he have?
You see, that's the other problem. Like, it's kind of just like multiple things. Like, there's multiple Max games and multiple guns, and no one has the CRT. Like, it came with like a specific CRT. I don't even know what it is. Johnny, how can we say SNES has no Grails? Earthbound's a Grail. Come on, of course.
Earthbound is the Grail. I think Hagan is probably the Grail that people think about. Like, you could also put like Final Fight Guy in there. You could talk to me about maybe that one weird black box Canadian one they found. No.
That stupid one. Yes, they found. Is there still only one of those? It's a black box Final Fight Guy, complete in box.
That was found in like a Canadian warehouse, which is probably a test box for what they were going to sell in Canada, because it was a rental exclusive down here, but they weren't bound by the same thing in Canada.
Oh, I guess that's a Grail. That sure feels a lot like Compton's Encyclopedia.
It sure does. CD. Sure does, except it's expensive.
I don't think Max has the mind share. It doesn't have the clout that like a Hagane has. I'm just going to say no Grails in Super Nintendo. How about that?
I don't know. I would
fight
put
me.
I'd put the competition carts on there. I think those would be fine. I think if you're a set collector, Exertainment, Mountain Bike Rally, and Hagane pretty much seal it. But they're not like super impressive Grails, because if you got $2,000, you can own those things.
Yep, here we are at Collector's Quest. Even though Hagane complete in box is like what, $5,000? It's like more than $2,000, right? But yeah, you spent all that money. We're not even impressed. Ugh, puh. It's garbage video games. Other people have those.
If you told me you had like a 9.4 Hagane or even a 9.2, I would be impressed, because they're always in garbage condition.
They are always in garbage condition. Now we're getting into conditional rarity, though.
Yeah. But I guess I'm talking about prices from 10 years ago. Yeah, I guess you would have to spend at least $5,000 to get a Hagane now.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, get your Hagan.
I'm not taking the bait, so suck it.
I tried. Well, let's talk about 3DO. What a system that has real grails.
Lucian's Quest is not a grail. Lucian's Quest only $1,000 still, which
$800. There was one for $750, and because just like background, I like RPGs. Okay, I used to be like, I'm going to collect every RPG, and then I was like, well, that's not really a thing I can really do. I was like, I'm going to get Lucian's Quest. I like, this game is cool. I'm going to buy it because it's an RPG. And it was so much money, and I was like, I think it was like $300 or something. So I debated it, because it was a 3DO game. Now I'm like looking at a $750 one last week, and I was like, I could buy that because I thought about it for so long. It's still on my save search. It's one of the oldest items on my save search list. Might be the oldest thing on my save search now. Actually, I'm thinking about it. It is like a save search that's probably 20 years old.
And you still don't have one?
No, and there's one for it was $750, $800 that I could have bought. And I was still like, nah, even after 20 years.
I just feel like Lucian's Quest is one of these games where it's been on people's radar forever. It's an exclusive RPG to 3DO, which already, like, 3DO, obscure system. People like collecting obscure stuff. RPGs, very collectible genre. Lucian's Quest, one of the rarer games on the 3DO. It has all these things going for it. And it's been a while, and it yes, it's an $800 video game. That's an expensive video game, but it's even got like anime stuff, and anime nerds love anime stuff. Like, look at like Magic Knight Rayearth and all this crap. And this is so much rarer than Magic Knight Rayearth.
Yeah.
I don't know. And yeah, it's still just like, I guess it's just not as rare as it could be.
I guess, yeah, it's literally the oldest thing on my list. I've got a couple of old things on my list, but that's the oldest by a large stretch, actually.
There are a lot of rare and obscure 3DO games. A lot of them aren't desirable. Like Lucian's Quest has desire behind it that like actually makes it cool, but there's there's all the porn games, and there's crap like Carrier Fortress at Sea, like games that will go for hundreds of dollars just because like someone is desperate that one finally came up, or the Woody Woodpecker video CDs. But the one that actually matters, that has the collector hype around it, is Dino Park Tycoon.
Yeah,
a game that has always been worth kind of thousands of dollars. Recently, last year, one sold for $7,000. And now there's another one on eBay for $8,000. Buy it now. Holy guacamole, is this game rare and not interesting.
Yeah, so here's what I'll say. There is a price threshold, which I like, and it's like $5,000, which I'm like, oh, that's like a real thing, and I don't understand it. Like, well, we got, like, I need an explanation when a game is more than $5,000. And it's not like some graded weird variant.
It was graded by Wada Games. So
okay.
There you go.
But I mean, it wouldn't have mattered if that was like a nice copy of Dino Park Tycoon is selling for $5,000. You know the range of games I'm talking about. $5,000 games are, when you get to that level, I look and I'm like, that's an expensive game.
Dino Park Tycoon and some of like the crazier 3DO stuff. But I think mostly Dino Park Tycoon, it comes up once every couple of years. And even for a lot of this rare stuff, you'll see the rare stuff come up, and it'll be like once a year for like the kind of grail-y stuff. And sometimes it's even like, oh, well, this year had 2 that came up. Dino Park Tycoon kind of legitimately does not come up for sale, but it's also a retail release that it's not like some weird prototype. It's not a competition cart. It's just an extremely rare retail release, like extremely rare. And I kind of love that for it. And I say that my kind of threshold for rare is that it's not on eBay. If there's one obviously overpriced one on eBay, like, all right, it's fine. That $8,000 Dino Park Tycoon, I don't think precludes Dino Park Tycoon from being a genuinely very rare video game. I'm going to stay grail status. The fact that some psychopath was willing to pay $7,000 for this is really proven that. This is rarer than Magical Chase. It's not as cool of a genre, but
yeah,
it's something.
So yeah, there's other weird stuff on the 3DO, like you said, but I'll give Dino Park a grail status again. And just because we're saying good or bad, or yeah, we know there's a collective of people who are going to disagree with us. And I want you to say where we got it wrong. So if you're like, that's crazy that you didn't put anything on the Super Nintendo, you're Star Fox Weekend isn't a grail, but fucking Dino Park Tycoon is, get the fuck out of here. And you can go buy a very bullshit copy of Dino Park Tycoon for the PC for like nothing. Just to be clear. It's not
I think that it's like a couple $100 just because of the 3DO one, isn't it? Or is it really nothing?
I don't know. Even if it's a couple $100, that's only because Dino Park Tycoon is carrying all this other weight.
100%. The 3DO copy is 100% carrying the PC price. Apparently, it's a good game. I've heard it was a VG Collectaholic who told us I think it's an okay game.
Okay, like I don't disbelieve it, but also like, who cares?
Yeah,
who cares about this game? So yeah, like I'm seeing a PC version, big box for $300. Dino Park Tycoon, MS DOS 5.0 Apple, Macintosh 7.0 CD-ROM. $22.
You might as well go buy PAL Stadium events, guys. Ugh.
Yeah. Ugh. SeaWorld Tycoon's my jam. You know what I mean?
And I mean, obviously, Johnny, going back to what you said with like, oh, you didn't have any SDS grails. This is just the stuff that I find exciting enough that I would like, kind of my eyes like immediately drawn to it in a picture and go like, holy shit, how do you even have one of those kind of deals? And like, if someone has a Star Fox Super Weekend, yeah, rare, exciting, expensive game. And I see someone who has a Dino Park Tycoon, obviously a much less interesting game in almost every sense than Star Fox Super Weekend, but who the fuck has it? So it
no one.
It kind of bulges my eyes. I'm like, holy shit, how do you even have that? It's so rare.
You know what, Tyler? I want you to create a collection for me, please. A new collection goal for you. I want you to get all the Tycoon games.
Just all of them?
Yeah.
What?
So you got Roller Coaster Tycoon, SeaWorld Tycoon, Trailer Park Tycoon.
No, there's a lot. This is a genre
so
on
many.
Steam now. There's like MMO developer Tycoon. There's all sorts of weird, stupid stuff.
Just physical releases. You got Zoo Tycoon. Come on, this. I want to see your collection of Tycoon games. Mall Tycoon, Prison Tycoon. These are real games.
I feel like the word tycoon would have been relegated to like 18th century oilmen, 19th century oilmen if it wasn't for this genre of games.
Tycoon is a weird word. If you look at it, you're like Tycoon. This is an old timey word. Like whoever is like out there talking about tycoons is also sipping sarsaparilla. Okay. This a weird old man word.
Johnny, there's a word that rhymes with tycoon and it is typhoon.
Oh, and raccoon.
Peaceful, perk up your ears here. We're talking about a game neither of us care anything about. The Eye of Typhoon for the 3DO. That's right. To the 3 people listening to this podcast who know what that is, neither of us included, this is a Korean exclusive fighting game for the 3DO. How could it possibly get any rarer than that? Probably the rarest region to find exclusive video games from is Korea. Everything in Korea is super rare, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like Korea and Brazil, I think, are like the regions that are like, well, good luck, guys.
Yep. Like, even like Pokemon games from them are worth thousands of dollars. Like, I asked Peaceful, there was like a Pokemon Silver from Korea that sold for $2,000, like complete in box. And I asked him, like, hey, does this make sense or are people crazy? And he's like, oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. That's super rare. Pokemon. Who would buy that?
Not me.
3DO, crazy, like weird, expensive, weird console, and then an exclusive game. That's exciting. It looks like Street Fighter. This was it was a Neo Geo game. It was being either developed or published by SNK for the Neo Geo, and then they dropped it for some reason, and they decided to put it out on 3DO. Only in Korea. Awesome. I have no idea what this game goes for. It was re-released by Pico Interactive and Limited Run Games for the 3 people, again, who actually know what this is. Cool.
Not many of us.
I mean, I don't even know enough about it to call it a grail. I guess it's a grail, or is it just like so obscure that only 3DO weirdos know about it?
I think it's only 3DO weirdos. And I think there's like a weird Woody Woodpecker. One of the episodes is also really hard to find. Some of the porn stuff. I don't. 3DO is not my jam.
So the problem with this, in terms of like its grail status, is like if I saw this on a shelf, I wouldn't even know what it is. I'm such a bad game collector, right? Oh, you don't know the rarest Korean 3DO fighting game? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Apparently, it's apparently notable enough that Limited Run Games released it. So maybe we're just out of the loop on 3DO rarities.
I think we 100% are out of the loop on 3DO rarities.
Right.
But you know what? One we do know about that we should mention before we go as an oddity.
What's up?
Tom Kite's Mental Messages Disc 4, baby.
Oh, yes!
We do know about that one.
What's the game that this came sort of with?
Wasn't it Tom Kite's Golf?
Yeah, it's ESPN. I don't know that I wanted to get their correct name. It's ESPN Tom Kite's Golf. What's the real ESPN Golf? Lower your score with Tom Kite.
There we go.
I love this. This has such grail energy because the entire thing with this disc is that it's about the hunt. So ESPN Golf Lower Your Score with Tom Kite, it came with like a mail away card. It's a 3-disc game, and it came with a mail away card where you can get a 4th disc, and the 4th disc is called Mental Messages, and it's just like a disc in a sleeve. It's like it's a CD, and it's just the 4th disc for this game. That includes tips on how to play golf, I guess. And there was like a period of like 4 years where I was looking on eBay through every single copy of this game, trying to find someone who had a copy of Mental Messages tucked away in the box that wouldn't be noticed. And I never found it. And the fact that it's like a hunt, it feels like it has such grail status. I bet there's no Mental Messages on eBay, are there?
Let's did not look.
Out. You see, the problem is if one did come up, it's the kind of thing that would like sit for $300 and no one would buy it, right?
Well, there's probably those 3DO guys out there looking every single day. So yeah. I think it would sell.
To be clear, no copies of Mental Messages on eBay or in solds. I want to put this as grail status, but also like, who really cares? I have seen people with like killer 3DO collections who like sprawl all their stuff out, and they'll have like 3 copies of Mental Messages that they're showing off. So the 3DO people do know this is like top tier shit for the 3DO. I mean, not like we know more than 3DO people, but like it is a known grail.
Yeah.
I want to say Star Fox, not a grail. Mental Messages is a grail.
Insanity. Absolutely not.
Not for anything that it is. I love the hunt. It's like how I go to Goodwill and I'm hoping it has the stadium events every time, and it never will.
Never ever.
All right, give me more not grails for me to shit on, Johnny.
Okay. Let's move over to CDI.
We got it. This episode's already over 2 hours long. What are we doing?
So long. We're so long.
CDI, man. I think that's like
there's only one. There is one grail, and it does not matter about the rarity. Nothing matters. It is Zelda's Adventure. That's the only fucking one, and that's because it says Zelda on it. Yes, there's other Zelda games, but that's the rarest of the 3, so that's the one people care about.
Guys, I am pretty sure that the rarest CDI game is Anne Willen Presents the Food of France.
Probably, but who cares? Nobody cares. They care about Mario Hotel, Zelda Wand of Gamelon, and Faces of Evil, and Zelda's Adventure. That's it. Moving on.
No, there's one more. It's The Flowers of Robert Mapplethorpe, because it is both extremely rare and was mentioned in an Angry Video Game Nerd episode.
Oh, okay.
It is so unfortunate. How did he happen to have a copy of one of the rarest CDI games when he made his CDI episode, guys?
Oh, weird. It's like you could buy any CDI game and it would seem rare because nobody owns them.
You know what? I actually, I was watching, it was like a video on like game design or something, and someone was talking about it was like an indie game designer, like devlog, and they were talking about the conversation system for their RPG, and they're like, you know what? I really based this on Laser Lords for the CDI that I played as a kid.
What?
It's the craziest thing I've ever heard anybody say.
You're just like, I guess, guys.
So all the rare CDI games feel like all the rare 3DO games in that like 6 people know about them and 6 people are looking at them. Ugh, Zelda's Adventure, is that a grail? Are there Zelda's Adventures on
That's
eBay?
the one. That's the one people care about. That's the one. That's the one Nintendo people are gonna go buy. So that's the gonna be. If someone's like, I gotta go get. If someone says, I gotta go get me a CDI game, you know what they're talking about.
But you know what the craziest thing is? There are people who like go out of their way who obviously don't care about CDI or things like that, and they'll get Wand of Gamelon and Faces of Evil, and they won't get Zelda's Adventure. There are people who are just like, it's like it doesn't even have the same kind of box art. I don't want it.
Yeah.
And like, no way is it Grail status because it should be a trio, and some people treat it as a duo.
And it does have the same box type, but there are ones with slipcovers and ones without. And it depends because there's the like Dutch releases and then there's the North American releases.
What? Hold on. Whoa. Let's take a step back. Did Zelda's Adventure ever come out in America even?
I think so.
Because there's 2 versions with different languages on the back, and both of them are like all these European languages.
Okay. Doesn't mean it wasn't sold here.
And also, it doesn't have a slipcover, so the other ones have slipcovers.
Yes.
So it just so everybody knows, when you're looking for the versions you actually should be buying, which are Wand of Gamelon and Faces of Evil, you want the ones that have cardboard slipcovers. And if you want the first release, it doesn't have the compact disc interactive text in the bottom left. It's just kind of black on that bottom bar there. The ones that come in like the weird vertical looking cases, those are European releases and nobody wants those. Come on.
So what you were saying about the down at the bottom cover, that might not be true. That might be the difference between the Canadian version and the one that was released in the US. Because I was looking at a Mario's Hotel, and the way to tell on those ones is the spelling of catalog. So when it says catalog on it, look if it's catalog with a U or without a U.
There are games. Oh, that's so interesting. I swear I looked into this.
Thank you, OGCIB, for that little tip, by the way.
Oh my God, OGCIB. So is the one without the text the US release at least?
I believe so.
Oh,
I would have to go look at them.
Okay.
I don't care enough about them to have all of that memorized.
For Zelda's Adventure, I'm also going not Grail. It's just not rare enough, and people clearly don't care about it.
One of the rarest Zelda games, Grail.
One version has Italian, Portuguese, Spanish, and English on the back, and the other version has French, German, Dutch, and English on the back. And the Dutch one's the one you usually find.
Go ahead and buy it.
I'm saying
It's
this
Grail.
never
If you're
came out in
gonna-
America. What are you talking about?
It's Grail. Doesn't matter. Still Grail.
Is this the only European exclusive Zelda game? Is that like a thing? I mean, it's gotta
Could
be,
be.
right?
Don't know. Could be.
What a weird...
You
thing.
trying to give it more credence for its Grail status?
I mean, these are probably the only Zelda games that never came out in Japan, unless the other ones did. I don't even know.
I don't think they did.
The Grail status, European exclusive Zelda game, guys. Your whole continent got something that no one else did. Oh no, because you got the there are like limited editions and stuff that are super cool that are in Europe only. But this is a whole game. This isn't just like
This is a game. That's not a variant. We're talking
Yeah.
a whole ass game.
damn Zelda's Adventure. All right, updated to Grail status. Chalk one up for Europe right there.
All right. A rare European win. Okay. Let's move on to another bullshit system, shall we? The Atari Jaguar.
I can't believe we're talking about all these systems. Jaguar. What's the Jaguar grill? In my mind, it's Atari carts, but I don't even think that's like that super rare.
That's what or air cars is what I think, right?
Sure.
Air cars? or did I transpose Atari carts and air cars, which I could have. I think it's air cars.
I think Atari carts was available from like those old Jaguar guys sealed for like a couple $100 for a long time.
I think air cars was mail order. It's like a 3D kind of race game.
Cool. Complete mail order. 700-800. There's a sealed one for 1,400. Wow, there's a lot of copies of air cars on eBay. Guys, they're all from the same guy. One person has like 10 copies of air cars. These could be the only 10 copies on Earth, Johnny.
They might be. So I'm also gonna throw Jaguar CD in there, and I think It is Primal Rage.
All right, I'm just gonna say the fact that like we have no idea on this is really limiting the Grail status to me.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. There's like Doom on the Jaguar. That's, I think, expensive, but not that expensive.
That's not a Grail. Yeah, Primal Rage is like a few $100, but there's so many. This is kind of thing like there's 7 on eBay and probably 0 people who want it.
Yeah. Rayman. Yeah, like there's no Grails. Is this like a real game? Is there a real Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the Jaguar?
No, there's not. Is
Sure.
there?
Type, is it European? Type Mutant Heroes.
Oh, Mutant Heroes.
Maybe it's probably like a homebrew or something stupid.
You probably are getting caught up on a homebrew.
Probably a homebrew.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Hero Turtles: The Coin Op.
Okay, that's got to be.
What incarnation is this, Johnny?
That's
the Coin Op.
That's got to be a stupid homebrew because
released.
Jaguar.
It says released in extremely limited quantities and sells for over $400 US on average. Although I do see some repros of it.
Okay.
Is this a real game?
I don't know. That's why I asked you. I was hoping you would know.
See, the ones I see have like green cartridges that are like clearly bullshit. And I feel like they wouldn't call it the Coin Op, right? They would call it the arcade game if it was the 90s.
Yeah. But if they're calling it Mutant Heroes, it might be European, which would then make them.
Oh, maybe they have different terminology. The one thing I'm seeing on eBay for it is from 5 years ago, which feels like prime homebrew stupid re-release territory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, whatever.
Why are we talking about this? Yeah, all the videos are from like 5 years ago, so it's definitely some new thing.
Okay. Let's talk about the Sega Saturn, something we can sink our teeth into.
The Sega Saturn, Johnny.
What's the Grail?
Obviously, it's Panzer Dragoon Saga, the greatest RPG ever made, but the source code was lost, so it will never be re-released. Even though we don't re-release games anymore, we remake them from the ground up into completely different games, which we could totally do, but no one really cares about Panzer Dragoon Saga that much because it's mid.
And it's got a sequel.
It does have a sequel.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Panzer Dragoon Orta is a sequel to the Panzer Dragoon series. It's not. There's no RPG sequel, is there?
Isn't there?
I do not think there is.
What am I thinking of? There is, or maybe it's like a Sega Club version. There's like a Game Gear one.
So there's Panzer Dragoon Mini, but that's just a Panzer Dragoon
Mini.
Yeah, that's not an RPG.
Okay.
Johnny, I don't think Panzer Dragoon Saga is a Grail. And you know what? I think the amount of people who care about Panzer Dragoon Saga diminishes every day that passes on this earth.
I would say you are right about that, but I think that's true about most things. I don't know if you can make that argument in good faith and just not be right by accident.
Yeah, I think people used to care about it a lot because it was this exclusive thing locked to an obscure console, but RPGs were a little bit static there for a long time in the 90s and 2000s, and I feel like RPGs today are so much different than they were, 20, 30 years ago, that even people who kind of hype up Panzer Dragoon Saga as this like ultimate RPG, which it absolutely is not, it would be so outdated compared to Final Fantasy VII Remake or whatever, that it's just not that exciting.
I don't think it's that exciting either.
6 out of 10. You heard it here on Collector's Quest Podcast. There is an exciting game, a port of a beloved game to me, Daytona USA, which I consistently point out, like all Sega Saturn arcade ports, it's just a messed up version of the game, and I hate it. Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition, Netlink Edition, which came up on this show recently, Johnny.
Double edition editions.
Yep. This is a mail order exclusive version of Daytona USA, which is notable for 1, being mail order exclusive. 2, it's a mail order exclusive that uses the Netlink adapter for playing Sega Saturn games online, which is something nobody was doing. So who the heck bought this video game? And number 3, there are already 2 versions of Daytona USA on the Sega Saturn. So if you were buying this, not only were you playing Sega Saturn games online, you were probably mail ordering a video game that you already owned.
Yeah.
just it is everything again. Everything this game has going against it in terms of who the heck would ever buy this. It makes so much sense that this is a rare video game, and I think it's in. Is it quite? I don't think it's quite maybe in the realm of Dino Park Tycoon, but it is like very genuinely rare. Like it was like a copy a year maybe comes up.
Yeah, not a lot.
There's one not from DreamTR up for $7,500 right now. Are there any in solds? None in solds.
Probably not.
So I do want to point this out. Someone has a manual up for $2,000. Is it kind of messed up? No, it's got like a bite out of the top of it. If I had one of these and I didn't have the black and white manual, man, I would buy that so fast. That would drive me nuts. It's in 2 carts, even though it has a chunk ripped out of the top of it. There are 2 people out there with their incomplete copy. Because the thing with Daytona Netlink Edition is you can't show it off unless you have the supplement manual. Because the cover art is identical to the $40 Daytona USA Championship Circuit Edition. The only thing that's different is the disc art and this manual.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to think you're cool unless you got it.
Yep. I'm buying that one right now. Bought it.
All right. I'm a super biased Sega Saturn boy. It was one of the first consoles I was ever interested in collecting, Johnny. I'm calling it a grail.
Weirdly. Yeah. Also calling it a grail, not Panzer Dragoon Saga. Sorry, guys. Again, this is one of those consoles where you could really go into the weeds once you start getting into Japan, and where they have a much better library and even PAL. But that's not what we're doing here. So we are going to move on from the Sega Saturn and get into another console we both like, Tyler. You call it the best, maybe one of the best systems ever created. I think we rated it very highly. And it's the PlayStation. Tyler, I have a problem with the PlayStation. And unless we look at Elemental Gearbolt Assassin Case, which is a grail, we don't need to get into an argument about it. That's a grail.
Easy grail.
Easy grail. For the regular people, what the fuck is the grail for the PS1?
Oh, I know what the rarest PS1 game is. It's Team Buddies. So there's this game called Team Buddies. We all love Team
Buddies. Rare. Not rare. Rare and grail aren't the same. What is the thing that people aspire to buy on the PS1? And is this what's held it back?
All right. So I was actually talking to my buddy, Game Rave, the PlayStation library, and he said that the grail are these 2 specific light span discs that were only released in these educational bundles for schools. Those are the grails.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, so if you want a real answer, I think if we are going to pick one, and neither of us are going to agree this is genuinely a grail, but probably the big exciting PS1 game is The Misadventures of Tron Bonne.
Yeah, Mega Man ties.
It has Mega Man. It's like, so I don't even know how many copies that would be on eBay, but I would suspect a lot.
Multiple. And it comes with a Mega Man 2 Legends demo disc.
Cool. Oh, yeah, this isn't even remotely rare. This is...
No. But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is the PS1? Like, you're like, okay, we can talk about Blitz, the player's choice.
Okay. So that's a more interesting one, because that's maybe the rarest
or greatest,
game that
I said player's choice,
up.
But greatest hits.
The rarest retail game that we brought up anyway.
Yeah.
NFL Blitz 2000 greatest hits is so phenomenally rare, and 5 people on planet Earth are looking for one to complete their greatest hits set on PS1. But what was what did the last one sell for? Like, I can't even believe that sale is real.
I think you said 7,000.
Yeah. I did not confirm that sale is real. There was also an earlier sale for $2,500. Either of those are completely insane.
For a PS1 greatest hits game,
Johnny, you are spending your money wrong if you spent $7,000 to complete your PS1 greatest hits set. Like, I understand that all of us are neurodivergent and we need to complete our sets and we get very hyper-focused on one specific thing, and then all of a sudden the thing we're working on right now is the thing that matters the most in the world. I was there. I was there with Xbox Platinum Hits. I was in the weeds, not only researching them, I was paying big money for stupid uncommon stuff. Even after all my time with it, another Platinum Hits game came out with NBA Ballers that I'd never even seen. So even if I had spent all my time and money completing that set, my set still wouldn't be complete because they found another one. And now I think NBA Ballers is probably on similar status to Blitz 2000. But guys, who fucking cares?
Let me tell you about NFL Blitz 2000 real quick. Hey, a sealed copy just sold for $100 of the regular one. You can buy a regular open copy for $20. This one, and it's just because, guys, greatest hits, you don't even need those for your set. You don't have to do a greatest hits set. Just leave it alone. Just back away. There are other cool variants. You can go buy the Mortal Kombat trilogy, like Jewel Case. You could go buy Mortal Kombat 3 and then Alien trilogy? Do I have those backwards? Jewel cases that you can go buy?
You're right. I personally, the idea of like the rare jewel case version of a long box game, man, I just do not care. That stuff doesn't excite me in the slightest.
No. Again, and this, it kind of goes against our collecting ethos because those are the second prints of those games. Sure, they're rare, but like you could say that about every Player's Choice Greatest Hits game. They're more rare than the other one. So should we care more about that? Oh, they've got a lower print. Okay, well, the fourth print Mario or whatever, the Circle Seal Mario, there's less of those than of the original one. So you're going to go get the Oval Seal Marios?
People collecting every single thing we're talking about today are not the people who care about print runs, because no one cared about print runs until 2018, 2019. And we have people in our Discord, like Final Fight CD, who is adamant like print runs and historical relevance does not matter. Rarity is what matters. We're collectors. We care about rarity. So he would care about Blitz 2000 greatest hits.
But we've never cared about, that's what I'm saying. We've never actually cared about rarity. We care about rarity in select cases, but we don't care about it absolutely. It's not an absolute value that we always care about, because if you did, the Player's Choice greatest hits are always less of them.
You're right. You're right, Johnny. I mean, it's the best console ever, so maybe the budget labels matter.
Yeah, and it's like there's so many of these weird, like, okay, jewel case only versions of this. There's so many cool, like, weird boxed editions, like little box sets you can go buy. You can go buy a lot of weird stuff for the PS1 if you want to. But it's hard to nail down what the grail is without me going, and this is probably just because we're weird collector nerds. It's like, well, it's clearly the Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's case, but why do we think that? Because we've been incepted so long in collecting that we were looking for the weird stuff instead of like, what does the common person consider the grail item? And I don't know. Is it Tron Bond? I hope not.
I think when you get to some level, like it's for it to be considered like kind of the grail, it has to be something that's gettable. So yes, Assassin's case, everyone would agree it's a grail, but people also want a grail that they can actually achieve. Kind of the same thing happens in other hobbies, and I've talked about this. Freaking Morgan Silver Dollars, the set of Morgan Silver Dollars, Carson City Morgan Silver Dollars are worth a lot of money because they are the rarest Morgan Silver Dollars. There are many, many coins that are rarer than that, but people collect Morgan Dollars because they're also kind of gettable compared to all the impossible rare coins that you could collect.
I think if you want to go for something more extreme, and I think can carry cultural weight later, if you get Siphon Filter 3 with the 9/11 cover, that's the one that still has the Twin Towers on it, I think that is kind of gettable, but even that's not really gettable right now. But that's what I think people could aspire to and might have cultural relevance down the line.
Johnny, I want to read off Jason of PlayStationLibrary.com. That's his actual Discord name. He was kind enough to provide us with a list of what he considers the PS1 grails.
Okay. And if there is an expert, it is him. But again, he might be too in the weeds to know what the common person really feels like.
No, these are the real grails from the real King of PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Number 1, the PS1 Lightspan Online Connection CD. There is one in existence. It opens a browser window, or they're trying to get it to open a browser window. So, real exciting disc. Apparently you just put it in, does nothing. That's the real grail. One. I mean, can't get more holy grail than that. That's the rarest game ever made, actually.
I mean, I would argue that maybe is a test copy.
Nope. There's no way. I 100% believe that there's this weird online Lightspan thing that there's only one remaining copy of. 100% believe that.
Okay, I don't. I don't believe, like, when stuff like this, it's always hard for me to believe any retail thing only has one remaining copy.
It was pressed. It's not like a burned CD. It was pressed because it had to run in a retail PlayStation.
I don't. You could still press it. Like, you can still order a fleet of 25 of them as test copies. I just don't believe. I don't believe it. I don't
Unknown
believe there's only one.
Variable 1 and 2, the rarest Lightspan games. If you're trying to get the full set, these are the video on disc ones, and they're nightmare fuel. God, I love Lightspan. The first 3 Grails are all Lightspan games. It's awesome. Just to go back here, the Lightspan games are a series of educational games that were like sent out to classrooms in these boxes. You get like a box and have like 20 or 20-ish unique games in it, and sometimes they're progressive. It'll be like math 1, math 2, math 3, math 4, and they're full of like crappy PS1 video games that are educational, but they're all unique games. You get like a whole freaking box. It's like 20 unique PlayStation games, education exclusive, and these discs are worth nothing. You could get the whole boxes for like 50, 80 bucks. And I think I've said this a lot. They are the most underpriced games by absolute value that you could get in video games, just because it's like $1 for a game when they're the rarest thing in the set.
Okay.
No one cares.
No one cares.
He says original design documents of any kind are legit prototypes. It doesn't count as a grail. Coca-Cola Harry Potter for the PS1.
Woo!
I heard about that on the Collector's Quest podcast.
I know a guy who owns one.
The last thing you need to finish a specific journey. Oh, are we getting sentimental now? Japanese promos and prize items. And to top it off, the Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case.
All right, so we all agree. Elemental Gearbolt Assassin Case. That was a lot of talk just to say the Elemental Gearbolt Assassin Case.
And then he goes off. He's talking a lot about the Lightspan. Oh, no, I'm looking at older stuff he's said about it. Dude, he likes this Lightspan Online Connection CD. I think that's his real grail.
All right.
Elemental Gearbolt Assassin's Case is just something that's been sitting on his shelf for 20 years.
Well, it's always, look, that's the thing with you. Like you, me, collectors. It's not the best thing you have. It's what's the best thing is the next thing. So that's the hell of this mental illness that we've all decided to call hobby.
Dude, everybody listening to this podcast right now, just think back on like the greatest things you've ever bought. And it could be 5 or 10 years ago, and just realize like how little you've thought about it since you bought that.
Yeah.
Because you don't have the next cool thing you could have.
Please seek help. Let's talk about the Virtual Boy.
No, dude, we got to cut this podcast somewhere, dude. We're getting on 3 hours.
We are. Well, look, we're gonna go up to N64, right? And we're gonna stop.
All right, let's talk about the Virtual Boy.
Look, we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna do an After Dark. And if you want to hear what we have to say about all the modern grails, which is gonna be less, you can tune in for that.
There are no modern grails. All right.
You can tune in for that. All right.
What do you want to talk about Virtual Boy? It's not Innsmouth no Yakuza. What do we got on Virtual Boy?
That's a great game. How dare you disparage that? I feel like that game got much more popular after we talked about it, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Collector's Quest is influencing the market out here.
Like we got at least 3 other people to buy that game, and that spiked the whole market for the other 3 people who are still thinking about buying it. It's Jack Bros. It's Jack Bros, right? Or Mario Tennis Blockbuster Box.
I mean, no, there's definitely not that. I saw so many of those at Midwest.
There's so many of those.
And I don't think it's Jack Bros either. I think Jack Bros is too common. I think part of the reason Jack Bros is so expensive is exclusive Atlas, Shin Megami Tensei, or just Megami Tensei.
We've talked about a lot of Atlas things in here.
Yeah.
Pay attention, collectors.
So I think probably Jack Bros and Waterworld are comparable. Is Waterworld maybe even rarer? But like Waterworld is not a good game. It's not an exciting franchise. It doesn't have an exciting publisher. So Jack Bros kind of gets more of the credit there.
Okay.
And then in Japan, I think it's
Virtual Bowling.
I'm looking at Virtual Bowling. Someone has a copy up for $12,000. Okay, you know what? If Virtual Bowling costs $12,000, maybe that's a grail, and I'm just not in the know on my Japanese Virtual Boy.
Look, Jack Bros is the one that people think about. No one's thinking about Waterworld. That's why it's Jack Bros.
You're right. I'm still not counting it. Too common. Sorry.
All right.
And just for the record, there's also this homebrew that I've seen people play ridiculous prices for. Like the Street Fighter 2 homebrew for Virtual Boy. It's a bootleg. Get out of here. I'm not counting that as any kind of grail.
Uncle Tusk has he does 3 or 4 Virtual Boy games that really pop off when he sells them.
Get out of here.
Uncle Tusk, by the way, was a person who used to sell custom boxes for Nintendo homebrew games. I'm not going to just say things like Uncle Tusk and assume everyone knows what the fuck I'm talking about. Uncle Tusk was a website. He was also a poster on Nintendo Age who made boxes and sometimes Virtual Boy games and used to sell styrofoam and other accoutrements. UncleTusk.com. Check it out.
Thank you,
I don't
Johnny,
think it's
thank you for improving our podcast there.
All right. Game Boy Color.
Man, you're just desperate for me to get caught up and not end this podcast.
Game Boy Color.
So the American one would be Shantae, right? Which we're both going to say is not rare enough to be a true
you could say International Super Soccer is super rare and hard to find. I don't disagree with you, but I think if what we're talking about the people think, it's Shantae.
I think Bomberman Quest up there too?
Bomberman Quest is up there. It's nowhere near Shantae.
Okay. I mean, obviously, it's not near Shantae.
Shantae is the thing.
It's the thing. It's got the little Samson thing going around about it, and that it's rare, and it's a hidden gem. No one's ever heard of Shantae, which is why.
Well, the other thing it has going for it is they keep making Shantae games now, which keeps driving interest back to that.
That is interesting. Yeah, it is the first release in a console or a franchise has become much bigger than it originally was. Way, way bigger. I'm still not calling it a grail. I'm sorry. Right? I'm not even looking at eBay. I'm just assuming.
I mean, Jack Bros is over $2,000 complete in box. You don't want to call that a grail.
I know. I'm picky. I think grails need to be neat. Not every console can have a grail. I'm sorry, guys. Even games that cost thousands of dollars, they might just be expensive.
But isn't the expensive ones the grails? It's around a $2,000 game as well.
No, the hard to find stuff is the grails.
Well, look, I don't think
Civic is thousands of dollars. That's not a grail.
Well, it's not a grail compared to a Bugatti, which would be in the same class. That's a false comparison. But there are a lot of Shantaes available online. And then, so it's hard for me to call it a grail. I can understand why people do. But when I can see okay, here's a loose card, here's a loose card, it's here's 2 complete copies. When there's 10 online, it is a little hard to justify it as a grail. But if we're talking about the thing that people are going to be questing for to complete their Game Boy Color collection, it is going to be Shantae.
Oh, I thought you were going to transition us into Mario Family.
You mean the unique, very rare limited Singer-Sower, the Isaac Singer-Sower game that wasn't packaged with the system?
I do not mean the Singer Isaac cart, which is somewhat affordable considering how insanely obscure that is as a thing that must have existed.
Oh,
let's give the story, Johnny. So
okay,
there's a sewing machine that was sold, and it came with a Game Boy and a unique Game Boy Color cartridge. It came with the Game Boy Color, and it was the Singer. What's up?
I think it was turquoise, wasn't it?
Yes, I think they were all turquoise because it matched the color of the sewing machine itself.
Yeah.
So it was a Singer Isaac sewing machine. Came with a Game Boy Color. Came with a black Game Boy Color cartridge, and you could bring up sewing patterns on your Game Boy and sew them on your sewing machine. This is one of the weirdest things probably Nintendo has ever done. Nintendo must have been involved with this, right? It says Game Boy on the sewing machine, and it was released in Japan. This wasn't just a Singer thing. It wasn't even a Singer sewing machine in Japan. It was the Jaguar JN100, which is basically
or a JN2000.
Yes. So, haha. This has got to be one of the rarest actual Game Boy Color things, right? This is definitely rarer than Shantae. Let me look if there's a Singer Isaac cartridge.
I think if we're talking about Mario Family, I don't think there's a cart listed online.
Oh, so no, okay, we're not talking about Mario Family yet. Yeah, well, there's no copies of that. I'm just talking about the American Singer Isaac. That like weirdly affordable. There, I'm so surprised at how available this is. You can get a Singer Isaac sewing machine cartridge for $150. There are multiple Singer Isaac machines that come with the Game Boy and the cartridge. You can get them for like $700 for a full set, maybe $1,000, $2,000 for like the whole thing complete in box. And I think it's just because all the moms who bought these are the kinds of people who would keep their sewing machine around in the closet forever, and they wouldn't just immediately throw out the box and all the stuff with it. Dude, these cartridges are like $100. It's not even $150. There's tons of them.
Yeah.
I remember I was in a game store. It was Save Point Video Games in Charlotte, North Carolina, and someone had just traded in a complete in box Singer sewing machine, and they had the whole thing, and they wanted $400 for it. And I do not regret for a second not buying that, because what the hell am I going to do with a boxed sewing machine in my house? Be like, this is the kind of rare Game Boy Color sewing machine, guys. This is a real grail.
You should get it.
But in Japan, there was a game released that's different from the Singer Isaac cart called Mario Family that only worked for people who had the Jaguar sewing machine it was in Japan. And it's called Jaguar Sewing Machine Embroidery Software Mario Family. This has to be one of the rarest Mario games.
So to be clear, does this work on the JN or the Jaguar 100 and the 2000? Because the 2000 is a specific sewing machine. Is there like a second one that had the embroidery arm, but is this just like a weird naming convention?
It's a translation thing. So not that anybody fucking cares about this. The Japanese Jaguar JN100 does not support embroidery, but this game that has embroidery translated in the title, it does work with the JN100 to make your sewing patterns or whatever. But it also plugs in and works with the JN2000. And to be clear, your Game Boy Color does connect with a cable to these sewing machines. I don't know how programming sewing machines works, so I don't actually know what it does, and I don't really care.
The 2000, the difference there is that one did have an embroidery arm, which causes the confusion.
Yes, everyone's thinking about these all the time, which is why
we're creating the confusion right now. No one has ever heard of this.
So I think it's maybe a little bit interesting that this could be seen as a sequel to I Am a Teacher Super Mario No Sweater, which is a Famicom Disk System game that teaches you basically an instructional piece of software on how to sew sweaters with Mario's face on them. Crazy, rare Famicom Disk System grail, weird thing, thousands of dollars. But I do see those on Yahoo Auctions. And who the hell has a copy of Mario Family?
The rarest Mario game in existence, Mario Family.
Potentially the rarest Mario game in existence. I think that there's the golf promo, Famicom Disk System discs are up there.
Yeah.
This might be the rarest real retail Mario game. And, Mario game, it's a fucking sewing machine programming software. But I mean, this is way rarer than Mario No Photopea on N64. What a super weird thing. You know what? In any sane world, I would not call this a grail because who cares, Johnny? But this is Mario. I'm calling it a grail.
All right. I'll call that a grail. Here's another item that I would call maybe a grail, but maybe you'll disagree. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Duel Stories. The first print of Dark Duel Stories, if and only if you have the 3 cards that came with it. There's a second release that has cards that are not of value. This is, it has some value, but this is the version that has Dark Magician, I think Pot of Greed, and the big one, Blue Eyes White Dragon in it. This is a game that can sell for upwards of $20,000 if you have those cards. The nicer the cards are, the more expensive the game becomes as well. So you could, if these were all beautiful, mint, never open cards, you could be talking a $30,000 or $40,000 game, which is insane.
It's not even a video game collectible. It's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Collectible that happens to have a video game packaged onto it.
Yeah.
And
So
the
yeah,
the exciting part of these promo cards is that they have a unique like promo code on them. So they are specifically tied to this Game Boy Color release. It's not like you can just pull them from packs.
no. Just in more context, in Yu-Gi-Oh reprints about their cards constantly. So there's other editions of Blue Eyes White Dragon, but all Yu-Gi-Oh games that come packaged in any Yu-Gi-Oh game from here all the way up into the Switch, which also comes Switch games, which come with like 2 cards sometimes. Those ones will all have a unique code on them, part of their set number, which will identify them as a part of the set for that specific video game. And it might only be a set of 3 cards, but it will identify it as such.
I'm not qualified to speak to the grail status of these 3 cards. I do know they're incredibly expensive, and I do know generally in trading cards, stuff does not need to be nearly as rare to be seen as like the super desirable top stuff. So I would believe.
But it's
sure.
Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's $25,000.
Yeah, I'm guessing I'll count this as a fucking grail, I guess.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. All right, and that takes us up to around the year 1998. We're stopping there. We have Dreamcast in front of us, 1999, taking us into the 2000s, where we will touch on things like PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy, or GameCube, Xbox, all the way up to the Xbox Series X, where we will delight and confuse you with our lack of knowledge. And that will happen on an After Dark.
It's
shit,
Play
I
Fighter
forgot
Sculptor's
N64.
Cut, and no, obviously it's not a grail. It's stupid, and we hate it.
Yep, there we go.
Complete in box. All right, so cartridge, obviously we hate it. Complete in box, what do we think?
Yeah, grail status if you got manual and complete box.
All right.
Still hard to get.
All right, not letting you talk about your stupid Tarzans and Rampage. Those obviously aren't grails.
I think those are grails amongst hardcore collectors, but I don't think the people who collect N64, because those are variants. But I think Sculptor's Cut is, in fact, a set killer that keeps you from finishing it. So everyone who wants to complete that set has to go get that. So I will give it a grail status because of that.
All right.
And I wish we would have shown the same generosity to the Super Nintendo.
Nope.
Which we did not.
Sorry, right. Sculptor's Cut cool, Hagane no longer cool. That's what this episode
but
means.
They're both
I don't make the
championships and the most hard to find manuals and they're both expensive. Why can't Hagane count?
Johnny, I'm gonna pick a question. This episode is so long. I'm so tired. We're doing this on Sunday instead of Saturday, and I'm grumpy about that.
I know. Wait, it's Father's Day for me. You think I want to be spending my time here with you instead of my family?
Yeah, it wasn't Father's Day yesterday, so we could have done it yesterday.
I was busy. I was available last weekend. You were gone. Don't say your problems to me, boy.
Nick asks, why is collecting such ass, and why is Astrobot so cool?
Astrobot has fun controllers. Most of collecting also has fun controllers. I think both can be fun.
Nick, some of your questions are so dumb, Nick. I love you. Ross asks, what would you buy at Midwest this year with $1,000 to burn?
Is it manuals?
For me, it was Rekka for the Famicom. So I guess if I was going there, I mean, what I'm normally looking for is the same thing I'm always looking for is underpriced games that still are in mint boxes with shrink wrap. I think those are really underpriced considering they're essentially the same thing as a sealed game. The thing you're getting with a sealed game is that, it's this untouched mint thing with some shrink wrap on it, so it's the whole product that was on the shelf. And for 100th of the price, you could get a mint complete in box. So I like that.
So, yeah, I think that's a good answer. I also think if you were looking for console variants, I think there was a lot of people who drug consoles to Midwest this year. So if that's a thing you were collecting, especially handhelds, I think it was a really good space to be looking for that kind of stuff in, because consoles have a bunch of weird variants now that no one talks about, but there's definitely some people collecting, and you could easily spend $1,000 get 2 or 3 consoles that, have cool boxes if that's your jam.
Just because Nick's first question, I'm sorry, Nick, your first question was a little weird. Fleo's getting his first tattoo soon. He's thinking of a Majora's Mask near his heart with UV ink. That said, if you were to get a gaming related tattoo, what would you get and why?
I don't do tattoos.
Joe going for the most millennial video game tattoo of an N64 tattoo.
A heart on your heart? Cool.
Personal, going straight for unk status, I believe, as the kids say.
Which means uncool, not uncle.
Oh, haha, you got him. Whoa. Whoa, that could be like a backronym you got going on there. I like that. I definitely wouldn't want like a company name on my body. I mean, I don't want anything on my body. I'm like you. I like everything very simple. But I definitely wouldn't get like Nintendo or Zelda. That feels
I don't
super
want to
weird
hang
to me.
shit on my walls. You think I want to hang shit on my body? No, thank you.
Is there any like is there like a character or something that's so not tied to
Hey, Eva,
a
I look.
company?
It has to be like for me. It would have to be incredibly personal. Like, there's very few tattoos. Like, if you get an art piece on you, that's one thing. But I hate like when people get tatted up and they look like it's just like somebody's random high school sketchbook or notebook that they're just doing doodles on. I don't understand it. They enjoy it, so whatever. It's not for me to tell people how to address and decorate their bodies. I don't really care. For me, I don't understand that because that has zero appeal for me. So I can't imagine doing that to myself. If I had to do it, it would have to be something I would love forever, or have such a personal reason. Like if your dad died or something, and you put your dad's birthday on your arm or something, or his initials, or your mom or whatever, something like that. I get it. That's like personal. I can't really object. If you said, "Do you think this is cool?" My answer is like, no, but I get it, and I would never disparage it. For me, and just not like, I love video games so much. I'm not putting any video game shit on my body.
Yeah, I guess I mean, I'm there too. The one, I mean, not that I'm just not a tattoo guy, but when I've thought about this question in the past, I was like, if I was getting one, maybe like the island mana symbol from Magic, but now I like don't even play Magic anymore, which is a great reason why not to get a tattoo.
It just permanence is longer. Like, your life is longer than you think it's both shorter and longer than you think it is.
Let me tell you, the Linkin Park tattoo I got across my arm 20 years ago, it's going great. I still totally love Linkin Park like I did in high school.
I hope you don't have a Linkin Park tattoo.
I don't have a Linkin Park tattoo, Johnny.
Sorry.
What are we doing this shit?
Autism crept into that. I'm like, do you really have a Linkin Park tattoo?
What the fuck?
Just
sorry to everyone.
Totally
with a Linkin
unable
Park
to
tattoo
differentiate. All right. Are we going to talk about what we saw in the Discord, or are we just not doing that?
Oh my god. All right, let's go. Because we even asked Galdius for like a special request if he had the Surgical Strike CD32X. Oh, you know what? RE4 Matt is posting some cool stuff. He's getting back into Fallout games, and he realized that he doesn't have the Fallout games, and he just bought a Fallout 3 Collector's Edition for the PC and Fallout Tactics for the PC, which tells me he's doing it correctly and getting Fallout games on PC where they belong.
Hey, that's pretty cool. Shout out to Red the Game Shark. That's Red the Game Shark. If you want to import games cheap, talk to Red the Game Shark at Cheap Games, because his games are cheap. Anyways, Ghost House is he showed off a little Ghost House, a little LCD game. I like that. That's very cool. That's something I would enjoy. A little Halloween LCD game. Galdius also posted some awesome stuff. Then there's the thing that our RE4 Matt showed off that I liked. I did like that copy of Star Trek, because I'd never seen that box, The Fallen. I'd never seen this big box, so I thought that was a cool.
Say box. What's the full name of that game? Because I've also never heard of this game.
So, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Fallen.
It's a third-person shooter Star Trek Deep Space Nine PC game. Like, I've played some Star Trek PC games, and I've never heard of this one.
Yeah. So this is around the Dominion War era stuff, if you know about that. Yeah. I do know about that because I did see a lot of DS9 back in the day.
Get your action out of my Star Trek. I want Star Trek to be long, boring diplomacy and philosophy, and everybody shakes hands in the end, and it's okay.
The Dominion War was really interesting. Anyways. All right. Let's go on. That's when Cisco went from the worst captain to an interesting captain. Let's talk about what we played and what we bought. Did you buy anything? Did you play anything?
Johnny, I haven't bought anything on eBay for 2 months.
Ew.
Until last week.
Oh, sick. All right, here we go.
The last thing I bought in April was my first print Minecraft gift card. And then I just bought something. I bought the Minecraft PC Gamer demo from June 2011. So we mentioned it.
Yeah.
We mentioned it on my top 100 or my 100 things I would have in my collection show. And I picked the gift card over it because the gift card is kind of the full game and the demo is a demo. The thing the demo has going for it is it's the only at all physical media for Minecraft PC. I think there's this June 2011 demo, and I think the July PC Gamer disc also has the same demo on it. And that's it because it was a digital only PC game. And I've had a save search for a long time looking at every copy of PC Gamer that comes up. Like all these lots, I'm like looking through the games. I'm like trying to see like, oh, this one has the right issue. Maybe the disc is like sticking out of the cover or something. And I like wake up every morning and I get this list of unrelated PC Gamer things. I'm just so sick of waking up. It's like all my save searches are super rare stuff at this point, and then this is my one save search that gets a hit every day no matter what, and it's always useless garbage. It's just like it wastes 5 minutes of my morning every day, and I'm sick of it. So I just spent the freaking hundreds of dollars to get this overpriced demo that I think is overpriced and is not nearly as rare as the value of it goes for, and I got the PC Gamer Minecraft demo. PSA graded 9.2.
And is somebody who listens to the show sold it to you?
It is Mike Pack sold it to me. He's a listener of the show, that's
Thanks,
really
Mike.
cool.
Tyler just paid you to get some of his life back, and he loves that.
I mean, that is it. The funny thing is, I was waiting for like I haven't been waiting for an auction, but like every single copy is like overpriced by it now, and this was one that came up in open auction finally. Not that I've been looking for it. I've been hoping to get this for like $5.
Yep, you did it.
Minecraft, Johnny, one of the best games ever made. Have you heard of Minecraft? Get JD in here. He'll tell you about it.
He will tell me. He and his mom play Minecraft every single day. All right, Tyler. Did you play anything?
I'm playing Wayward with my wife, which is, I'm going to call it a modern take on Unreal World. If you know what either of these games are, you are neurodivergent. Both of these
Excellent.
are games that have been in development for decades, are very finicky, turn-based survival games, roguelikes. So this is it's a roguelike. Like you go on an island, you gotta punch trees, get wood, build a little base, and explore. Me and Ada have been playing our current save for about 50 hours. This game has permadeath. So if we have it turned on to easy mode, so we just respawn. But in a regular game, we could have been playing for 50 hours co-op, and we just die, and the game is over. And that seems like no fun. This game is definitely for some crazy people, I would say. If you want your roguelikes to go on for dozens of hours and then just permanently die, I guess.
No, absolutely not.
It's pretty good. It's $8. I have no idea why. The game is developed by a crazy person. There's so much content for $8.
All right. Well, I'm glad you did that.
All right. What are you doing?
Well, Tyler, I want you to know what I bought. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see Mr. CIB himself. He was here. We went to the SoCal Video Game Expo. We did that for a very short amount of time because it was very packed. And but we did buy some stuff. He got a few things. I bought a Switch, a Nintendo Switch Lite, the Zamazenta variant for my wife.
The what? The Zamazenta variant? Is that a Pokemon?
It's Pokemon, yeah. It's a Pokemon Lite system. There's two different versions. So now she has both. They go up on her little Pokemon shelf. I bought that. That is the thing I bought. But I'm going to tell you about the weird thing I bought. Okay. Are you ready? Do you want me to go into dumb collecting stuff? Because I'm ready to tell you about Ed, and Eddie's Misadventures, complete with bonus disc.
Oh, for the Xbox?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you remember this dumbass one.
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know what is happening in the world of Cartoon Network collecting, but it's a weird thing that exists, okay? And I sound like a crazy person when I fucking say this, but there is a cabal of collectors out there buying up Cartoon Network stuff like Ed, and Eddie, and Johnny Bravo, and Courage the Cowardly Dog, and what's a Dexter's Laboratory and all that stuff, right? That whole fleet of millennial cartoons. That this stuff gets bought up. They collect this stuff. Their Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy has a bonus disc. Ed and Eddie has a bonus disc, and if you're buying these on the PS2, it's no problem. The bonus disc goes inside. It's, when you have a 2-disc PS2 game, there's just a little clip-in thing when it flips over and you have 2 discs inside of your case. On the GameCube, it was weird because the GameCube case doesn't hold a DVD. These are bonus DVDs that have a couple episodes of the show on them. So you would get a cardboard sleeve that would usually be shrink wrapped to the back of the game, and it would have those in there. So the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy has a version that says bonus disc included. Ed, and Eddie does not have that. Xbox, also being a DVD-based game, usually just has that 2-disc ability. It has a little thing in it and says, you can have a bonus disc in there. I don't know why Ed, and Eddie for the GameCube does not have a bonus disc version that I've ever found. But it does on the Xbox, but it's not a disc that is included inside like the PS2 copy. This one, for some reason, has a cardboard sleeve that must have been shrink wrapped to the back of it. There's no indicator on the cover of the game or anything. It might have been a sticker. I've never seen a sealed one, so I don't know. I just know it exists, and I finally found one. I've been looking for this stupid thing for fucking years. And Tyler, here is how it went for me. You know how I am. If it has a best offer on it, what do I? What if it has a best offer? I'm making a best offer, right?
Yeah. No way. You bought this now?
I just bought it now. I was like,
whoa! Guys, I've never seen Johnny buy it now. Anything that had best offer available.
Tyler, it was worse. I put the best offer in. I waited 1 minute and said, nope, I can't do this. If it sells, I not for $20. I can't, not for $10 off for $50. It was $85. It came out to like 92 with tax. I'm like, fuck it. I don't care. I'm just buying it now. I went back, canceled my best offer and just hit buy it now.
That's crazy. Of
like
all
I got
the
up from
games,
my chair.
Ed and Eddie's bonus disc.
I just didn't want to go through this again. Like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy took me so long to get the fucking bonus disc for. And I think I had to get one with like writing on it. And I was mad about it. And it was like $100. I was just like, I'm not doing this. I'm just not doing this.
All right. This speaks to some part of collecting here. Because I think we both did the same thing this week. And that is we put ourselves into the pain of wanting something. And like we both had like save searches and everything set up for it. And the reason we bought it was to relieve ourselves of this pain that we put ourselves in.
Yes.
Of waiting on these save searches. What is the purpose of collecting?
I don't, Tyler, no one cares about this. I barely care about it. But no one knew about this. No one came up and told me about this fucking thing. I went out and found it myself. I don't know if a single person listening knows what the fuck I just described. I have no idea if they know what this is. I found it. I'm the only one I've only ever talked to you about it in like the one random After Dark we did where I ranted about Cartoon Network stuff. And here I am. But somebody knows, Tyler, because they priced it at $90.
They did.
So
I wonder if
knows.
they just priced it that high because they didn't see any for sale, or if they actually knew what they had.
The PS2 bonus disc version does go for about $90 too. But this is much different looking than that. I don't understand it.
You got to talk to Dan Gomez about that. He used to care about Xbox before he became the man.
You're right. I should send this to Dan and be like, hey, do you know about this piece of shit? I own it. And you know what? I'm still very excited I own it.
I'm happy for you.
I don't care about Ed, and Eddie, but I'm glad I own this fucking thing.
So that's funny. I'm a millennial. I watched Ed, and Eddie growing up. It's a good show.
Yeah. Anyways, I have it. But I'm telling you, there is a serious cabal of collectors around Cartoon Network stuff. Go look, and you'll be like, random cards and stuff. Do you want to know? I could get so into the weeds about all the weird variants on all this stuff. I'm not going to because I'm still looking for them. Why? I don't know. Mental disorder? Just disease? That's why. Brain disease.
Do you know what Cartoon Network Summer Resort is? Or I'm sorry, Cartoon Summer Resort, I believe it was called.
Is that the one where all the cartoon characters would go to?
It is a series of Shockwave Flash games that was available on the internet on Cartoon Network's website. Uh, I mean, it must have been very short lived because it was Shockwave Flash garbage.
Yeah,
And I heard someone this week on YouTube bring them up. The Cartoon Network people are out here with the nostalgia, Johnny. They're talking
they
about
are out here.
Cartoon Summer Resort.
It's the time for these things. I wasn't going to be left behind. All right. That's it for the show, guys. Thank you so much for listening to that stupid rant. We appreciate you. Thanks for listening to us talk about grails, even the ones we don't really understand or know about. If you like hearing about this, if you like and having your questions answered, then you can do that by joining our Patreon, which is at patreon.com/collectorsquest. It's like $4 or $5. I can't remember. I'm not checking. And if you don't worry about it. We appreciate everyone who supports us either by listening or by throwing us some Patreon money. Thank you so much. Hope you all had a nice Father's Day, good weekends, and you're looking forward to your summer. That's it for the show. Bye!